closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen. Look what the cat brought through the door. It's Nicole.
Nicole Pepe, hi.
Into my side. She's going to be filling in for Dave tonight. We're going to be doing a $200 no-limit hold'em restricted buy-in game. The blinds for this game are 3 and 5. We use yellow chips, which are $5 chips. It's Thursday. I'm psyched. So let's get to it. Let's head to the table, and let's get into this thing. We're going to start by going around and introducing the table. So over here in seat 1, we've got David with the Ganis shirt. Seat number 2 there is Jerry. Seat 3 is Jeff. People might recognize Jeff, the guy that thought that people were colluding against him on Live at the Bike a couple of months ago. Seat 4 is Tony. Seat number 5 is Jack. Seat 6 is Dan. Seat 7 over there is Michael, and that is SP Surfin' Michael on 2+2. Seat 8 is Steven Wood, and seat 9 is Gabrielle Wagner. Gabrielle, female, obviously female poker player. She, guess she's won a few of the nooner and night tournaments that we've done here at the Bike. And I think she might be heading out pretty soon to go and play in the tournament.
I'm rooting for her.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into the first hand of the night here. Seat 4, on the button, has got pocket ace. He's going to raise it up to 15. The yellow chips are $5 chips. 3 5 blinds. Nicole, when you first start this game, you really don't have a lot of chips to work with, do you?
No, not at all. That's the hard part about this game, is if you don't double up right away, or at least win a big pot right away, you feel kind of like you're constantly short-stacked.
Right. It's going to get 4-way act, 3 callers, so 4-way action here. It's a $60 pot. Queen 8-3 rainbow. Now, seat 9's got Queen 10. Is he going to get in trouble? Or is she going to get in trouble? Gabrielle's going to bet here with top pair. Now, these hands are easily dominated, and she's in big trouble here.
I like the bet, though, to hopefully to find out where she's at, and if she gets raised, she can hopefully let it go.
And the problem, though, too, is that if she bets 50 and say she only has 100 left, she probably almost has to call, right, with the pair, which is, again, kind of the problem with this game. $50 bet. The board's Queen 8-3 rainbow, and Tony is going to raise it up to 75. Looks like she's got 200 left, so maybe she does have enough to get away from this. Now, she had limped in with Queen 10. Oh, she's going to get away from it. It's a good laydown. She got her information.
Good job, Gabriel.
She'd limped in there with Queen 10, and the guy raised it up to only 15, so I guess she thought, oh, it's only 2 more chips, but Queen 10 offsuit, early position. Boy, that's not really that valuable of a hand, is it? No limit.
Right. She tried to get in there. She tried to hope maybe he had ace-king, ace-jack, and it didn't work out. But I like her play.
Well, the button's going to move over here to seat 5.
Not sure if I'm going to play.
And you can email us at live@thebike.com. That's live@thebike.com. You can follow a thread that's started on the internet by going to 2plus2.com. Click on forums, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments. Now, it doesn't look like anybody started the thread here tonight. Kev Mapp, the guy who usually starts the thread, is not with us. And I PM'd Russ McGinley, but it doesn't look like he has started the thread. So someone's going to have to take that initiative. Oh, yes, he has started the thread. Look at that. I jumped the gun. Seat number 3 here is raised to $60. Big raise with these stacks. He's got pocket 9s.
Yeah, that is a big raise. That's another thing, like I said before, I don't like about this game. It's just, if you're going to raise that much, you might as well just go all in. $60 is over half your stack.
Pretty much, like 30% of your stack. Yeah. And he takes it down with the pocket 9s.
Yeah, they're really good right up until the flop.
So, Nicole, boy, we've had Denny Williams in here last night. And we've got you in here. When's the last time you did the show?
Oh, my God. 6 months ago, maybe?
Did you do the show with Terry ever?
Yes, don't talk about it.
People out there already love you. It's funny, I asked Denny about Terry, and I think he said he was an asshole, and I didn't think Denny didn't like anyone.
Terry's a good guy normally, but wow, we had a really weird day in here one time.
Looks like we get a misdeal here. Something happened, and we're going to get into a redeal. So we're doing our $200 no limit hold'em game. Now, Button's going to move over here to seat number 6. Now, I see Gabrielle a lot around playing the 200 game, but I've never played with her because usually I'm playing the 3 to 5.
Okay.
Now, you usually play some of the lower level no limit games, although I've seen you in the 500 as well. Have you played with her before?
You know, actually, I was going to say all of the men at this table are very familiar to me, and she's the only one I haven't probably played with.
So how would you characterize some of these guys' play?
I think they're all at the level. I think they're all at this 200 level. I think these guys have played this level a long time. Some of them are stronger than others, but I mean, I think they're all pretty well matched, actually, for this game. It should be pretty good.
We had a raise here out of seat 4 with pocket 8s. Gabrielle's going to call. She's got 6-4 of clubs, and that's Tony over there in seat 4. He's got pocket 6s, and he's going to call. So, excuse me, that's Jeff, and he's got 6-7 offsuit. So here we go to the flop. Queen, Jack, Deuce. So Tony only made it 10 with pocket 8s in seat 4.
25.
And now he's going to bet about the size of the pot here. Queen, Jack, Deuce, couple diamonds, and he's going to take it down as the flop misses everybody here. Now, a lot of these guys, actually, I actually got a chance to play No Limit all afternoon. Couldn't get in the 500 game, but I was playing the 3 to 5, and there were 3 or 4 of these players at that table.
Really?
And I was trying to get that game over here on here, but a couple people objected. They wanted to play 200, but boy, we had a lot of chips on the table. We had Andrew, who was this Korean guy that goes all in blind that we had on the show months and months ago, and he pretty much handed about $4,000 around to the table. So we were playing really, really big.
I know Andrew very well. He actually was responsible for my best day at the bike, and he knows that actually because he doubled me up blind about 4 times. I made about $3,500 off him on the 3 to 5 table.
Yeah. Seat 5 is going to raise it here to $30. He's got King Deuce offsuit. Well, he's 1 off the cutoff, and he's going to take down the blinds. It's interesting, you know, Dave and I have had this discussion before. If you have a guy that is raising all in blinds, now obviously you have to take in consideration your position. Poker's a game where you really want, especially in a cash game, you actually want to take 55, 45 edges. So at what point do you call if it's folded around to you? At what point do you call with any 2 cards? If you know, let's say he raised under the gun blind, you're in the big blind and got folded around to you, what cards are you going to call?
Honestly, if there's no one else
Any
that calls,
ace.
any ace I call with,
Right.
even King, Queen, King, Jack,
Yeah.
King 10 even, if I'm feeling it, a
Right.
pair.
Right.
Pocket 3s I called with one time with him, and they held up. It's just a matter of how he's running.
Steven
Make it 20 more.
has raised to 15 here on the button, and Jerry's made it 35 out of the blind. He's got aces, and Steven calls. And
Interesting.
Steven's in trouble here. Queen 9-4. Well, let's see if he can get away from it. Look at this. Jerry checks out of seat 2, and Steven's going to bet on seat 8. So Jerry's probably playing it a little tricky here from up front. And he is going to check raise.
Raise 60.
He's going to make it 60 more.
Get out of this one, Magic Boy.
And he is going to take it down. The other thing I was saying was if the 200 game, I mean, the blind size defines the game. But also, if you have a 200 game that's been going for days and days and days, and you have people, say 5 or 6 people that have over $1,000 on the table, well, it's a different game than, say, this game that we just started at, right?
Definitely. I mean, I've seen that here before. I've seen a 200 table where everyone had $2,000. I was like, what is this? What's going on? But they've been playing overnight, so it's a totally different game.
Pocket kings here in the big blind for Jeff. That's the suckers guy, if people remember. And he's over there in C3. Steven's going to limp in here with King 5 of hearts for $5.
$5 on high five.
Pardon me. I call the $5. I will
Call
call
the
that
5,
five.
but will you call the raise?
Raise it.
I'm going to raise.
How much? 50?
How much will you call?
So he says he's going to raise.
I'll call. If he calls, I'll call 50.
All right, I'm going to make it cheap for you guys. 30.
30.
And he's going to make it 30 to go.
I know. Not betting enough.
Wow, and Steven quickly calls.
Stephen might be a little bit upset about his last beat.
Yep.
15.
Here we go.
Too much.
Heads up, kings against king 5.
Oh,
Wow, case king comes out.
Stephen
And
is
Jeff
in trouble.
Jeff checks the top set here.
30.
And Steven's going to bet 30 with top pair, weak kicker. Case king out here on the flop.
Good hand.
The question is, can Stephen get away from
Lie
this?
to you, by the way. You watch it tomorrow, you see what it was.
I think Jeff said he's going to raise.
We're both red.
Well, yep.
Slow playing.
No, he just called.
That's the last time.
Turns a 5. Wow, now Steven's got 2 pair.
Oh, Stephen, you built up.
And now Jeff
You're like, oh,
checks again. Steven
100
bets.
all in.
Jeff moves all in, and Steven is drawing dead. Unbelievable. Wow, what a turn card, what a flop. And Jeff's going to double through here. River does not matter.
He acknowledged it, but he didn't do it.
Unbelievable.
Because he was busy getting his health together. I don't
Beautifully played by Jeff.
You think so?
I do. I think just the call on the flop. I mean, if you raise too much on that flop,
But you might have been
you would think someone could get away
I
from
didn't,
king
want you, I
5.
didn't want to stop you. You were doing such a good
Am I
job.
button
He just called, turned to let the guy catch a second pair.
I had done
What'd you have?
king, but
The other thing, too, though, is, again, I mean, this game takes a kind of special type of art because if you can actually, if you, with a monster hand, if you can get a guy to commit more chips so that he feels he's pot committed, then you can get him for the rest of like $100. Whereas if these guys are several thousands of dollars deep, right? It's
Right.
although in restricted games, though, I don't think that slow playing is the best option normally. Maybe 90% of the time. Maybe in that case it was, but
I think on that flop, it was okay. I agree with you. Normally,
yeah.
if there's any kind of scary flop. But I think that one was pretty safe.
Steven rebought for 200, and he's going to raise it here to 25. He's got pocket 7s. Seat 4 is going to call, and actually Steven's 300 behind. You can, when you get under $100 in this game, you can bring your stack
More
up
players.
to 300. So he's got 300. We got 4-way action here. Steven's the raiser with pocket 7s. Flop comes out queen, queen 6.
That would be bad to play folk. Actually,
Nobody has a queen. Luckily.
Steven has the best hand here. But look at Tony, or excuse me, Dan. Dan's going to make a little bluff bet at it with 9-10 offsuit, and Steven folds.
2 players.
But Tony is going to check call here with ace-6. The turn's a 6, and Tony fills up. Tony checks,
Okay.
and Dan's going to check right behind him, and he is drawing dead. The river's a 4. And now Tony is going to bet out here with his queens full of 6, or 6s full of queens.
50.
He bets 50. So Dan was trying to take a shot at it. Didn't get there. And he takes it down. Dan actually plays a lot of high-low stud with me over at 2040 high-low stud.
Big blinds.
I think that he's playing because his family wants to watch him play. So hello to
Dan's family. Hello.
Nicole, were you the person that used to do all the trivia over the
Shut
summertime?
up. You keep bringing up this stuff with Terry.
Oh, was it with Terry?
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Don't talk about it. Remember when I said don't talk about it?
You told me not to talk about George Georgian, and I wasn't going to bring it up.
God. I might have to kick your butt.
Pocket queens over here. Seat
Raise
6.
it 10 more.
And he's going to raise it 10 more out of the big blind. Boy, that's a little... You're not really going to drive anybody out here, and he's going to see it 4 or 5 ways. I would probably have raced up a little more with the big blind. But he
I
just calls.
definitely would too, but I guess he wants to take his chances.
Oh, 4-way action here. Ace-7 queen. Look at this. He
and
flops a set.
Good for him, and so did Steven.
Oh, look at this.
Steven.
Steven's got bottom set. No one has an ace here.
I feel for you. I feel for you.
And Dan's going to bet right into the set. I love it. Ace-7 queen on the flop.
Steven's thinking he's golden here. And
Yep, Steven has called.
2 of you.
And here we go to the turn. So we got set over set here, folks.
Sick.
Heads up, queens against 7s. The turn's a 3. Let's see if Dan's going to keep firing here.
Get your money back from the tournament?
It's a good acting job. I like
Steve is
it.
Steve's gonna. Well, he's not gonna go broke on this hand because he's got Dan covered. And Dan just moves all in. He totally fast played it, and he's gonna get the call. And Steven thinks he's good. He has one out here.
Dang it.
Oh,
And the river! Oh, wow. Quad sevens.
Oh.
wow. It's not a
Wow.
jackpot. It's a swing.
Hope we didn't jinx Dan by saying hi to his family. That's a brutal beat. That's about as bad as it
One
comes.
outer and he hits.
That's about as bad as it gets. Wow.
That's magic. Now that's magic.
That is magic.
Unbelievable.
That's luck, y'all.
You know,
I like Steven's attitude. Good for him.
well, Dan took it pretty well, too.
You did, both of them.
You know, when I sent a message to Russ McGinley to start the thread on 2+2 tonight, I said that there was going to be a cool chick guest commentator, and then I put in parentheses, not Asian. And he didn't even start the thread by saying that, but other people picked up on it. They said, I wonder if she's Asian. Well, but Russ didn't put that in the lead thread, so very interesting. Wow, what a river card. And look at this, Jeff's got pocket kings again over there in seat 3. And Steven's got another pocket pair. He's got pocket
Wow.
8s. He's going to make it 20 to go here.
Steven is getting run over by the deck.
Just thinking I am
Raise
so
it.
golden.
And Jeff is going to re-raise here, it looks like.
Looks like there's an 8 out already.
Yeah, one of the 8s is gone.
Make it 80.
And Jeff is going to play it pretty straightforward. He's going to make it 80 to go. Now, this is what we talk about when you don't have many chips left. You raise it to 20 or 25 with pocket 8s. Can you even call the raise out of position with pocket 8s? If it's 80 more? Well, I guess now he's got a lot of chips, so he figures he has a lot of chips, Jeff has a lot of chips. He's going to call.
And, play the rush.
Yep.
That could get him in trouble.
Here we go to the
2
flop.
players.
Wow, and this could really get him in trouble.
Yeah.
Steven's got to overpair to the board with a gut shot. And he's going to bet right in here. He bets 25 here into a $120 pot, kind of a weak bet.
So the
Jeff's
question
saying-
is, does he have a feeling that he's beat already?
Well, Jeff is going to just push right here.
Wow.
He's going to push over the top. And he says, do you have a set? Because it was kind of a weak bet here. Well, I thought he was pushing. Wait a
all
minute.
in.
Yeah, he is pushing. He's going to move all in. And can Steven get away from the hand here?
I think this is a good way to to know that you are beat when someone is. I think when someone pushes all in like this, they're basically saying, "I've got a huge pair and I do not want you to catch." And that's what the signals tell me.
Well, if you put the guy in an overpair, Steven basically what he would think would have is 6 outs with 2 cards to come. Jeff has taken all the play out of it.
Right.
He's not have the odds here for 2
good for
cards to
Steven.
come.
Let's see.
And he gets
It's
rid
the
of
right
it.
play.
Yeah.
And he even shows him. Makes it easy.
Eights. So I had an inside straight draw. Let me see if I can
And
throw
Jeff,
one
who's
and
picked
catch
up pocket kings here in the first couple of hands, takes it down.
it. Is that important to me? You had a better hand.
Unbelievable.
I agree with Jeff's play here. I like the way he slow played his set king. I like the way he pushed with scary board and an overpair.
I do.
No, but do they on the
Well, they will talk about
Pretty
it.
coordinated board.
They'll talk about it.
Of course, if you want to watch this show and every show that we've ever done, you can check it out by clicking on the archives, the on-demand archive banner at the left-hand side of your screen at liveatthebike.com. $14.95, Nicole, gets you all of the saved action.
That's so cheap.
Every single one. I also have some exciting news about another announcement we've been making over the last few days, and I'll get to that after this hand.
All right.
5 players.
Limped around here 5 ways. Buttons over there in seat number 6, it looks like. Ace, 10, 5, couple diamonds. Now,
No, you
Jeff,
pick it up on the next end.
over there in seat 4, has got ace, 6 of clubs. And seat 2 is flopped bottom set here. Ace, 10, 5. Jerry's going to bet 15 right into the set. Now, let's see if Jeff's going to get involved here with ace rag. Is that the type of flop you're looking to hit with ace, 6 of clubs?
I think that he might have priced him in to call one time and see what happens.
No, he's going to lay it down.
Good for him. Better player than I.
Well, Steven's going to call. He's got a gut shot to the jack. He could catch running diamonds. The turn's a diamond. This might keep him in here. He's got this 3rd nut diamond draw. And Jerry is going to bet here again.
That'll make an X, sir.
He bet 75 now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay,
I thought I
take
saw a
it back.
check down there. I apologize.
It's up to you.
Oh, he bet out of turn.
I'll just fold it.
And I guess that gave Steven some
I bet that
information.
'cause I did put it out there.
Yeah, I know.
And
There you go, Frank.
Jerry outprices him with the draw, and Jerry takes it down. We were talking lately about the poll that's going on right now at bluffmagazine.com. You can go to bluffmagazine.com/reader's choice and vote for us for best poker broadcast and best poker commentary. It's a big poker poll. And we were saying email Bluff. Tell them to get us in one of the options because we were a write-in vote. We weren't in the Dropbox. And I checked it last night, and we're on there now.
Yeah.
We're in the Dropbox.
Woo.
Now, unfortunately, they don't mention me by name. They say mixed commentary under best commentators. So
Well, we'll have to get that changed.
I know. What can you do?
Go ahead, check it.
What can you do?
Make it 15.
We have a raise here by seat 6. That's Dan. King 10 offsuit. He made it 15 to go. He's in the cutoff. A couple people are going to call here. And here we go to the flop. Ace, ace, queen. Well, Dan's got a gut shot. If he were to bet this hand, he probably would take it down. But look at Jeff. He's going to make a little bluff bet at it.
Yeah.
He's going to bet 15. And Dan is going to call.
I'm up down to 2 tins a day.
Turns at 3. Let's see if Jeff checks, if Dan will take it away from him. But it doesn't look like Jeff's going to check. It looks like he's going to continue to lead here.
All right, buddy. Let's see tonight. 50.
He's going to bet 50.
No call play.
And look at that. Dan's going to fold, and Jeff takes it down there with the bluff.
Nice play.
Yeah, I'll be back. Thank you, Mike.
Gabrielle was talking about a show, Gabrielle on seat 9, that she was on. It's a show, it's a game show with Annie Duke that's going to be coming on GSN. I don't know the name of it, but if you remember her face, she said that she played Annie Duke on the show and beat her heads up, and she's going to be on that show whenever it comes out.
Well, we'll have to see that.
Yeah. So remember that.
And how much did she win?
I don't know. Didn't get any of those details. She wanted to keep it kind of quiet, but interesting. Putt moves over here to seat 8. Ace Jack offsuit here for seat 5. He's going to raise it up. He's going to make it 30 to go. I was playing with this guy, Jack, earlier. And, you know, there was 2 crazy guys on our table, Nicole. And it just kind of took all the play. I mean, we were sitting there for 2.5 hours. One guy raised every single hand, so it was basically kind of just like a waiting game. And as a prop, it kind of sucks because I'm always looking over my shoulder if somebody wants to get a seat, and I had to wait for cards because there was no play.
Right.
You know, he would come in and he would raise it $100 every single hand. You couldn't limp. He was on my left, so you never could really limp in before him because you knew he was going to raise.
Sure.
Unless you were going to limp with the intention of re-raising. I actually raised from late position a few times when he was in the blind, not necessarily with a big hand, but so to stop him from making a big raise out of the blind.
So he didn't do it?
So
when
if I made it like 25, he would just call, as opposed to if I limped and then he would come in and raise it for 120.
Right.
So that's kind of some of the way that you can counter that a little bit. We got 4-way action here. We had a raise pre-flop. I believe it was by. I think it. Oh, let's see. Seat 5's got ace deuce here. It was Dan who raised pre-flop with Jack 10. He doesn't catch it, and it's going to get checked around here.
You know, I saw all of the
Turns a deuce, and now Jack has 2 pair in seat 5. Ace deuce.
Like
But-
Tony's going to give it a go.
Yeah, he's going to put a little, try to steal it there. It looks like Jack just called there with 2 pair aces up. Can you imagine if Tony checks the river? Jack is probably, ooh, look at that kind of scary card. River's a 4. And Jeff is going to bet again. He's going to bet 55 now. Scary river card. Queen 10 bluffing on the turn, or excuse me, Queen Jack bluffing on the turn. And Jack is going to make the call here on the river. He has 2 pair. He's going to take it down. Ace deuce. And Tony has to show down the bluff with Queen Jack.
The show of shame. I've had to do that many, many times.
Yeah. Are you a big bluffer, Nicole? You don't seem to be a big bluffer.
It's not a matter of being a big bluffer, but of course when you feel like you have an edge or you feel like nobody has anything, you bet. And sometimes people have something, and then you're called.
Now, people that remember, Nicole was playing on the show, I don't know, a couple months ago with Paul Borhaus, the writer. Is that his last name? Borhaus? John Borhaus, excuse me. And John made a horrible laydown against you with top 2 pair
Don't say that. He's gonna
against
hate me.
Ace 3, I think it was. I don't know what he was thinking. I think his book is like How to Play Winning Poker, and he was playing, how to play losing poker that night. King 8-5 here, couple diamonds. It was limped around.
Check good. Go ahead.
In his defense, I'm, pretty dominating when I'm at that table.
Ah.
Sitting next to you. It's pretty scary.
Turns an 8 of clubs. Jerry's going to bet. It's funny. I would always ask Shirley this question, and I always thought it was a humorous answer. What do you think about it when another girl comes to the table? And Shirley would say, I like to be the center of attention. I just get up and move to another table.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she says. And I was like, are you kidding me? I kept asking her several times, and she'd give me the same answer. So, how do you feel about that?
I guess I don't think of it either way. You definitely notice as a girl, when someone comes to the table as a guy, you half the time don't even notice. But when a girl comes, you do, just because there's very few girls that are playing normally. But it doesn't bother me either way. I mean, if I was at a whole table of girls, it wouldn't bother me.
You don't have to be the center of attention.
No, but I understand what she's saying. You get used to that. I mean, you're playing under a certain attitude and a certain feeling, and it changes if a woman comes in and takes over kind of the feeling and attitude that you had.
Do you feel that the guys sometimes go easy on you and you can kind of flirt with them and get some information, like about laying a hand down?
I think they would if I wanted to play that way. Yeah, I could very easily play it that way.
You don't play that way though.
No, because I don't want to win that way. It doesn't make me feel good to say, yeah, I took that down because I showed my boobs or something. It's not like what I want to do.
Money's money though, right?
Yeah, some things are just not worth money.
Oh.
Right 50.
Now we had a straddle here out of seat 5, and he's going to raise out of the straddle spot.
No position, no card.
We had 5 limpers. So seat 5 raises. He's got ace queen offsuit out of the straddle spot. And it doesn't look like anybody's going to call here. Well, wait a minute.
Here we go.
He's going to re-raise.
5-8 of clubs.
Wow. I don't know if I buy it, Shirley. Excuse me, sorry. I don't know if I buy it, Nicole.
I said boobs, and all of a sudden I'm Shirley.
I don't know if I buy it. I mean, there's a guy who straddled, okay, in seat 5.
Okay.
Tony's in the big blind. It was limped around 4 ways. The big blind isn't going to raise. He's just going to check and hope the straddler re-raises so he can re-raise the straddler. I don't buy it. And Jack makes the call. I just don't buy that Tony would play a big hand that way out of the big blind in a straddled pot. 10, 6, 7, and Tony's got an open-ended straight draw, and he's going to move right in.
Goodness.
He moves all in here with the semi-bluff.
And Jack calls.
And Jack is going to make the call, and Tony's a favorite here. 10, 7, 6,
There it
turns to
is.
9. It's over. And the river is a deuce.
I'm really surprised. Tony had to make that play, I think, in order to continue with his bluff, but I'm really surprised at Jack's quick call.
Well, Jack really, what could Jack beat out there except for a weaker ace? I mean, with that type of flop.
Right.
Now, he wasn't ahead of 5-8 with 2 cards to come. He was an underdog. But with the ace-queen, probably if I was Jack, I probably would have just moved back over the top all in. If this was me. Like I said, I don't buy how Tony played that hand. It was I believe that it was a straddled pot by seat 5. Are you telling me that when you're in the big blind with the big hand and there's 4 people that have limped in ahead of you, you're just going to check it and hope that the guy in the straddle spot that hasn't really shown a lot of aggression before, the night has gone by, count on him to raise out of the straddle spot? I don't buy it.
Maybe, I know Jack actually is a very aggressive player. I don't know if maybe those two, seat 4, Tony knows how he plays. Maybe he was expecting that to play with his bluff, but I see what you're saying, and maybe that's what Jack was thinking. Maybe that's why he called on the flop, that he thought Tony had nothing.
Make it 15, sit 5.
Sorry, I won't call you Shirley anymore.
No, I don't mind. It's okay. I am honored.
We had a raise here by seat 5 out of the big blind. He made it 15 to go. He's got queen 10 offsuit. And he's got 300 behind. And we got 3-way action here. Here we go. Queen, 5-5. Jeff is not in the hand in seat 3. We do not have chip 5s. And Jack is going to lead out here with top pair. He's going to bet 15.
Check.
Well, he doesn't bet 15. He's actually putting in the money that he owes. He's going to bet 40 here. And it doesn't look like anyone really has hit anything here. And he's going to take it down.
You know why there's no call? Because I folded 3-5.
And Jeff whines about how he folded 3-5. Boy, the pre-flop raising hasn't really been that big so far tonight, has it?
Was it 3-5 on the button for $10?
Yeah, I did.
Button moves over here to seat 4.
Listen.
Oh, they're so cute.
Of course, you can email us again live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. Now, I really want to thank everyone that emailed Bluff Magazine. Give us a shot to get in there with some votes.
Yeah, that's great. You made it happen, Bart.
We had a raise here to 20 by, I believe, seat 7 with ace 10, and the button here is going to re-raise with pocket 10s. He makes it 60. Dan's got king queen off suit, and Dan really should get rid of this hand to a raise and re-raise easily, and he's out of position here in seat 6.
He's thinking, though. What do you think? He's thinking about going all in?
Wow,
Oh.
he's going to call.
Now, at that point, I would think I would just go all in if I was really
Or
just
fold, right?
Yes.
But king queen is just not that good of a hand. As you
No.
can tell, he's got live cards, I guess, but he's not in real great shape here. Sometimes when people are new to no limit, you know, king queen is more of a valuable limit hand, Nicole, wouldn't you say, than a no limit hand. And here we go, three-way action here. $180 pot. Tony's the re-raiser. And look at this, Dan spikes top pair right off the bat.
He had a feeling.
Let's see how he's going to play it. He's going to move the rest of his chips all in here. Looks like maybe $100 into a $180 pot. $90 to be precise. So the pot's now $270, $90 to call. Michael folds. And Tony's going to call, and he's going to need to spike the case 10 or make some sort of running straight here. He's in real bad shape with what we've seen out. Turns a king.
Yeah.
Well, he can
He's
catch a jack now. And the river's a 6, and Dan's going to take it down there with top 2 pair. So he's going to take down a pot that was, if he wants to show it to us again, going to take down a pot that's
Just in
about
case we missed it.
$350. $350 pot right there. There you go.
And if
Sure,
he'd
that will
gone-
make Dan's family a little happier
Yeah.
after that brutal beat that he took before.
If he had gone all in pre-flop, it probably would have been the same result. Ace 10 probably would have folded. Pocket 10 would have called.
Well, here we go. John E. on 2+2 writes, Annie Duke Takes on the World. Will air on GSN May 1st from 9 to 10 Eastern Time. So there you go. And apparently Gabrielle will be on that show.
My reputation is if I had hated come down against his kings.
Couple limpers here.
Wow. That seems to be the only hand I can get against you.
Limp, limp, limp.
Yeah, I know. That's a good hand, man. What can I do?
Buttons over there in seat 5.
And you played those pocket kings first.
And
Oh, when I flopped the set? Yeah.
Tony
That was great.
is going to raise it up here to 15 out of seat
You don't have to
4.
be a rocket science to play that hand. No, you're right.
Because
You don't.
everybody else did.
And it looks like we're going to see it maybe 4-way action here.
5 players.
5-way action. $75 pot. Here we go to the flop. Ace, King, 9 with a couple of spades.
Surprising thing is nobody even has an ace.
No one has an ace here. King Jack brought this hand in seat 4, so it looks like he's got the best hand. Now I'm going to have to get at Gabrielle a little bit here. And it's just a minor thing. We haven't seen her see much post-flop.
Too much action.
And Tony's going to bet.
More action than I want.
Bets 30. Now, I guess a case can be made. Well, if you limp in and the guy only makes it 15, you can call an extra 10. But even in the small limit games, I just King 10, King Jack off suit, early position. Even for that type of raise, what do you really looking to hit? And the reason why, especially I say that, is because it looks like she only has about $150 in front of her, so there really aren't a ton of implied odds, right?
Right. I think for me, I hate hands like King 10 'cause I've been burned so many times with him.
Yeah.
But some people will live by them.
Yeah.
They love those hands. They try and hopefully to make a straight because it's really what you want. I mean, what do you do
Yeah.
when you hit a king?
Yeah. And again, this is just a very, very minor thing, but we get on it with the players, you know, in the big game, and those are definitely trouble hands. So, and I'm sure Gabrielle knows that. She goes back and watches this. $15 raise here by seat 3. He brought it in with ace rag offsuit. And we got a couple of callers. 4-way action here. King 10-6. Well, if you had King 10 this time, you'd be good.
Where's Gabrielle now?
Yeah. So Jeff brought it in with ace rag. Let's see if he's going to make a continuation bet here. Looks like he's cutting some chips out here.
45.
He's going to bet 45.
Tony's going to call
Yeah, he's gonna
quickly with his
flush
diamond
draw.
draw.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned, Bart,
Just 75.
from watching these games, is that when
Make
people
it
call
90.
fast,
It's
they're
on
usually
some
on a
sort of
draw.
right?
I learned that all by myself.
Well, actually, you know what? Tony has raised. So he hasn't just called. He raised it up to 90.
Interesting.
So he's going to raise with his draw here, which oftentimes, you know, is a good play, and Jeff's going to fold. And Tony takes it down there with the semi-bluff. Yeah, oftentimes people, especially if they're not necessarily, you know, real advanced, and sometimes you do see players that are kind of beginners at these levels. That's a great thing to pick up, right, as a tell.
Especially in limit. I mean, if they're grabbing their chips already before you even finish your bet, they're usually on a draw in limit, I've noticed.
Button moves over here to seat 7. Gabrielle's got ace-king offsuit here in the big blinds. See how she's going to play it. Queen-jack over here for Jeff. He's going to call. Seat 4 calls.
25.
And look at this. Seat 5 is going to raise with 8 deuce of hearts.
Yeah.
So let's see how Gabrielle's going to play it. You know, at this point, if I've got $150, I might just push here, but she's just going to call. There's a couple people behind her, so maybe she wants them in if she can hit top pair on the flop and then just maybe move. Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like she wants to more than just double up.
Yeah.
Check blind. 3 players.
3-way action here. And look at Jeff. Oh, he's still in there with the queen jack. Well, let's see how Gabrielle's flop top 2.
That doesn't happen enough when I have ace king.
Should have known.
That actually worked.
Well, let's see if Gabrielle's going to check it from up front and let Jack do the betting. It looks like she has.
Bet 60.
And Jack is going to bet 60.
Bet 60.
Oh, he's got a gunshot straight draw.
Gabrielle is out of position here, so...
She has no choice, I think, at this point.
Well, she's got like 120 in front of her, right? Do you
Oh,
just move
perfect.
all in? But it looks like she's just going to call, though.
Call. 2 players.
Well, in this case, it might work because Jack might fire one more time. Let's see. Well, the turn's an 8, and that's actually going to give Jack outs. Now she's going to play a little stop and go.
Call.
He
And Jack
calls.
called with a pair of 8s.
70.
Wow. He needs to catch an 8 here. Gabrielle called the flop, bet the turn, and Jack instantly called. Unbelievable.
He's an action player.
He
I
needs-
have
yeah.
played with that man before.
Well, he needs to catch an 8 and an 8 only, and the river is a
That's it.
jack. Gabrielle's going to take it down there. It was a little bit interesting because, you know, what I saw was that Gabrielle checked, let Jack do the betting, and then she called. Now, there was a guy in between, so maybe she was trying to milk something in between there as well. But then she just bet the turn. She didn't give out a free card at all, and he called.
Not bloody like.
What can he beat there?
Yeah.
Just a pure bluff, right?
I mean, he caught his 8, and so maybe he figured he was good. Maybe he figured she was bluffing. Like you said, she only called on the flop, so why is she betting out on the turn?
Yeah.
Maybe he thought she had a flush draw because 2 clubs came on the turn. But other than that, he can't beat much.
Nicole, it looks like they're calling to have you back on camera here, so maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do that at the end of the
no! Let me sit up straight.
Limped around here.
5 players.
5-way action. This means it's a $25 pot. King 4-5 on the flop.
That's fine. I'll look
And Jerry's going to come out and bet here with pocket 9s. He's going to bet $40. Now, Jeff's got King 10 of hearts. He's got top pair. But again, this can be a tough hand to play. He's in middle position. King 4-5 rainbow on the flop. King of diamonds, 4 of spades, 5 of clubs.
120 total.
And look at this. Jeff is going to raise it up to 120 here. So a lot of betting to get information, and then usually people at this level will raise it. Looks like their top pair, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that David's probably going to get away from the hand here.
I can't play it post.
Yeah, it's a beautiful hand, David, and we haven't seen him really play any, so I'm sure he's sick to have to throw it away, but what do you do?
Well,
Absolutely.
Jerry hasn't done anything yet. Again, the flop is King 4-5 Rainbow.
No.
There we go.
I'm gonna watch this tomorrow.
And we're heads up between pocket nines and King 10, seat 2 and seat 3. And Jerry's going to get away from it, and Jeff takes it down there. I mean, the thing about those Broadway cards is, you know, sometimes you can win a small pot or lose a big one, right? If someone had a better kicker there, like Ace King, you'd lose a big pot. In that case, no one had a king, so you win a small,
Exactly.
right?
Call. Call.
So, how are you doing, Nicole?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Can they see us now? Is that why you're asking me?
Yeah, there you go. You can look up at the screen. They wanted to take a look at you. You're wearing a nice what is that? Are those diamonds in the middle of your
Yes,
shirt?
they're real. They're
Really?
Absolutely, yes.
Really?
I'm in the habit of wearing real diamonds to the casino.
On your shirt?
On my shirt.
In Bell Gardens, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Great thing to do. Walk right out into the parking lot right afterwards. We got a raise here to 25 by seat number 7. He's got ace jack offsuit. That's SP Surfing Michael. We haven't seen him play a hand yet. He's going to take it down. And there it is. So, of course, tomorrow night we'll be doing our normal 10-20 no-limit game. $1,000 minimum buy-in. Unrestricted buy-in game, and boy, that game gets big. Now, you've played in the 500. You've never played in the 1,000, have you?
No.
No.
I've only played the 500 very few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, one time I won big, one time I lost big, and I said, okay, you know what, I'm not going to play that game anymore.
Yeah, well, the 3 to 5 is good enough.
Oh, I
mean, that's a
love
pretty
the 3
big
to
game.
5. Yes, I love it. I'm very comfortable there. I don't
Yeah.
have enough money to make me feel comfortable at the 500 when everyone sits down with 2,000 or more.
Right,
you know.
right. Couple ace, got an ace jack and an ace queen.
17.
Steven's going to race to 17 here with ace queen of hearts.
I'll try this one time. There we go. That's what I want.
Yeah, we got a couple callers here. So we're going to see a $51 pot minus the jackpot and the drop. 47.50 going in the flop. Jack 10-6 here. And Jeff's got ace jack.
Bet 50.
And he's going to come out and he's going to bet, it looks like. $50.
Looks like a good flop for him. Steven's going to call in a gut shot.
Gut shot, backdoor flush possibilities, right? Now, if he catches his ace, he's in big trouble, though, right? Here we go to the turn. Turn is an 8. And now he's double gutted, isn't he? And Jeff's going to move all in. He's double gutted. He could catch a 9 or a king. But he's going to fold. And Jeff takes it down again. Jeff's doing pretty well for himself. You know, it used to be on the thread that we have on 2+2, there was a lot of talking about analysis of hands. And for some reason that I'm actually a little bit disappointed. I like the shenanigans that go on there sometimes. But we haven't seen a lot of hand analysis lately on that thread. It kind of seems to be almost like a gossip thread. So I'm going to read something here by Scott Baio. He says, making that call with ace-queen. This was talking about jack and c5 to Tony's bet out of the big blind against a straddle pot. Making that call with ace-queen was terrible because he was willing to call an all-in on a missed flop. If you already know you're willing to call any amount in the flop, just move in pre-flop. And I can't agree more. And seat 5 is going to straddle here. And again, I just don't buy that Tony had a big hand because of the way that it was played out pre-flop. Did he just say sucker again in C3?
He said, I'm a sucker for the straddle.
Oh, I see. And look at this.
39.
He's going to raise it up to $39 here. All in. He's got Jack 10 off suit. And Gabrielle is going to call all in here with 7-8 suited. Well, she's got some chips in front of her, but if nobody else calls behind her, is this the type of hand that you want to take heads up?
I think she's hoping that somebody, by her calling, she's pricing the others in. See, she's telling him right now she wants him to call. Unfortunately, yeah, it didn't
The other
work
thing
for
too
her.
is that she's out of position for the rest of the hand, though, too, right?
Well, it does. If
Take out the short stack. It's my turn.
now it's not going to matter because
Well, 7-8 suited against Jack 10, and she's outflopped Jack. Well, Jack's open-ended now.
yeah, she takes it
She's
down.
going to take it down now.
Her favorite hand takes it down.
7-8 of spades. The only reason why I say that is because, 7-8 of spades, I like those suited connectors and no limit. But, if you get a guy that's straddling and you limp in and there's a couple other limpers, okay. And now the straddler moves all in for 40. Well, maybe you could call if you knew the other two people were going to call behind you and you knew that you guys were just going to check it down. And they were weak enough players behind you where they weren't going to bet on the side. They would just help you make it. But then again, though, you don't have any implied odds at that point. So, and you're out of position. And I mean, again, I don't mean to be hard on Gabrielle. I just don't think I would have played it that way with that hand. Sometimes those suited connectors can look pretty, right? But
Right.
it depends on the situation.
Although at the same time, they say those suited connectors are the best if you're going to go heads up against someone who has a big pair, which maybe you think somebody is if they're willing to go all in, right?
Well, a suited connector is going to be, you have a better chance.
Like aces or kings.
You have a better chance of breaking a higher overpair with a suited connector than you do with a lower pair.
Right.
That's true. But I don't know.
5 players.
If you think the guy's got a higher pair, then I would think you would fold.
Yeah.
Right? 5-3-5 here, limped around. A couple people have threes.
Jack has left us, unfortunately.
45.
Seat 2 here is going to bet 45. That's Jerry. He's got 3-4.
Huh? Okay, good.
And he's going to take it down. Well, Steven's going to fold there. He actually folded the best hand. And
Those hands are hard for me. I would fold in Steven's position as well, because what you figure is the best you're going to get is you're calling for a chop.
oh yeah, especially with the board paired there,
So
right?
for me, it's just not even worth it.
Now, what are you really looking to hit, right?
Right.
Small blind.
So we have an email here from Amir. He's saying, how do you get to the 2+2 thread? Well, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled out, click on forums, World Poker Tour, etc., under Tournament Poker on the left-hand side of your screen. And that will get you there.
What you gotta do, brother?
That's the TV thread.
35.
35.
Bet raise here to 35 here by the cutoff, pocket eights, and he is going to take it down here. That's Jeff. And there you go. We have a new player coming into the game at some point here.
I was hate to do it to you. Do what you gotta do.
Button moves over here to seat 6. So if you look over there in seat 4, he's got a lot of chips. He's got maybe $700 in chips there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a $200 game. And the beautiful thing, the reason why I like the 3-5 game better than this game is because the blinds are pretty much the same, right?
Exactly.
I mean, this is a 3-5 blind structure. The 3-5 is a 300 to 500 no limit buy-in is a 5-5 structure, and you can buy in for 500, so you get a lot more bang for your buck.
40.
I agree.
Now, for example, here you got a $30 raise by this guy in seat 2, Jeff. He's got pocket tens. If you start off in the game with 200, you really can't make a call with any cards. I don't think there. It's either a push or a fold,
Exactly.
right? If you start off with 200, anytime the raise is, $30 and above.
It's exactly why I don't like this game. A lot of times you have 3 buy-ins before you actually are making money.
Right.
Whereas we can sit in the 3 to 5 and you can go down a little bit, but you'd still have money to play with.
Yeah, yeah. We get a few callers here. And again, for that reason, there's just aren't enough implied odds because you don't have enough money to make calls off of raises.
Right.
And we've got 3-way action here. Pocket 4s, pocket 10s, and queen jack suited. Well, ace 5-3. Jeff's got a second nut flush draw. Let's see if Jerry's going to fire here. He's going to bet 1 overcard.
45.
He's going to bet 45. He has the best hand now. Jeff's got a flush draw. Michael has a gut shot. Wheel draw over there. Let's see what Jeff is going to do here. Now, again, oftentimes you can just call here in this spot because calling will sometimes be as strong as raising in position. Because if Jerry, checks it to you on the turn, well, you can either take a free card or bet, and he might be scared of the ace, right? Now, let's see what Michael's going to do. Well, Michael's putting the rest of his chips in. $13 more. Both players call. Michael's going to need to catch a 4 that's not a heart or a deuce that's not a heart. He's drawing pretty slim. Here we go to the turn. Turn is a jack. Now Jeff has a pair, and it goes check, check, and the river's a 9.
I heard they made an agreement to check it down.
Oh, that's...
And Jerry will take it down.
They made an agreement to check
Or
it
Jeff
down
will
on the
take it.
side?
They did.
Wow. Well, it's one thing, it's one thing when players don't bet against each other because they're friends. I don't know. Another thing when they agree to check it down on the side, but hey, that's just one guy's opinion.
I'm checking it out.
Hell yes, I'll check it down with you.
I think Jerry pretty much asked him, and I often ask this too, when you have under pair, you figure the guy called because he has an ace.
Yeah.
So one guy's all in, you say, what are you going to do? You're either going to check it down or you're going to fold if he bets. So I often ask, do you want to check it down? So you figure I'm already beat.
I will raise.
Oh, he's in the game.
We have a raise here by seat 1. He's got ace, king, and diamonds. And look at Dan over there in seat 6. He's got pocket kings, pocket cowboys. Dan's got about 300, and seat 1 has about 300.
We've got pocket 8s out there, and we see that there's another 8 missing.
Now, a raise to $30 here. If everybody folded, you could play kings a little slow and maybe just call. But with a couple people calling, I would think you'd want to re-raise, and he is going to re-raise.
They may pass.
75.
He's going to make it 75. And Michael there on the button's got pocket 8s. He's going to fold. It's a nice fold.
Yes, it is.
75 total.
And seat 1 is going to call, and we can see that there's another ace-10 out here. And look at Tony makes a call to a raise and a re-raise. What are you really trying to look to hit with ace-10 offsuit? I hate that hand, Nicole.
Yeah.
It's one of my least favorite hands.
I don't like that call either, but maybe he picked up on a tell on these people. Maybe they both had under pairs and his ace is good. Unfortunately, he's wrong.
Yeah, and is he going to get himself into trouble? The flop comes 10-9 deuce. Tony's got top pair, but Dan has the overpair. And it looks like Tony bet 100 here.
Really?
He bet 100 with ace-10, and you would imagine that Dan's probably going to move over the top here.
Oh, yes.
Let's
He
see.
doesn't have any other choice here.
Again, in a restricted buying game, there's just really no way that you can get rid of an overpair. And you don't have enough chips to really get enough information. If you were 10,000 behind and you made a raise here and the guy came back over the top of you big, maybe you can lay it down, but he only has maybe another 200 or so in front of him. I can't imagine that he's going to lay this down. I think what he's trying to figure out is if he wants to just call here. It's a rainbow board, somewhat connected here, 10-9 deuce. It's a $100 bet. The pot is now $325, and he's going to move the rest of it in. And that's about $250 more. And that means the pot is now $675, $250 for Tony to call. So he's getting about 2.5 to 1 on his money.
And he calls.
And he makes the call. And he's going to need to spike the case ace here or a third 10. Turn is a 3. Dan needs to dodge one card here, and the river's a 7. Dan's going to take it down. Going over the pot odds for that hand, Nicole. And there
Dan's
it's
happy.
Dan. Yep.
Hi, Dan's family.
Going over the pot odds there in that hand, you bet 100. Dan raises you up 250. Pot's now 675. You need to call, and actually Dan pushed in for 250. So the pot's 275. You need to call 150. So you're getting about, let's say, almost 4 to 1 on your money, a little over 4.5 to 1. If you have a pair, figuring you've got maybe 6 outs with 2 cards to come, I mean, you catch your ace, you're good. You catch, one of the 2 remaining 10s. You have 5 outs with 2 cards to come. Got about if you put the guy in an overpair, you might think you have about a 20% chance. It's questionable whether you can call or not. But he was getting pretty good pot odds there.
Yeah, I think even he knew he was beaten. You could see it on his face. But I think, like you said, the odds. I mean, he made his bet. He decided pre-flop he was going to play, and that's what happened. He was required to call at that
Well,
point.
like I said, he had about a 20% chance to win the hand, and the pot was laying him over 4-1. So, at that point,
Right.
9-6 deuce here with a couple of hearts. It was limped around. Third heart here on the turn. I don't know if anybody has a pair here.
Doesn't look like it.
Everybody's missed here. Well, Steven's got the nut flush draw, but Jeff's going to take a shot at it. He's going to bet 30. And Steven looks like he's going to make the call. And we're going to be heads up here. River's a deuce. Let's see if Jeff fires one more time. If he doesn't fire and it gets checked down, it's going to be chopped up here. Ace 4 against Ace 5, seat 8 against seat 3.
Bet 75.
And he's going to bet 75. And there you go. And Steven folds. Jeff's going to take it down there with nice aggressive play.
Very nice play by Jeff. You know, I haven't seen him play enough, or at least from this side of the camera, I haven't seen him play enough, but I really do like his play.
You haven't beat. What's that? You haven't beat
Button
by
moves
one.
over here to seat 9.
Jeff, I had one less than you did.
Limp in here, and seat 4 is going to raise it up to 15. He's got pocket 8s. Seat 5 is going to call with an Ace 4 suited. He's a new player. His name's Mike in seat 5. Gabrielle is going to fold. Got a lot of first timers here on Live the Bike. And Jeff is going to make a call with pocket 8s. So Tony actually brought this one with Ace King, excuse me. Queen, Jack, Deuce, all clubs. Nobody has a club.
I hate that when you have Ace King. Happens all too often.
How does your red Ace King look now on that
Yeah, it
flop?
looks like crap.
Now, the thing is, though, Nicole, when a flop comes out with high cards and all of one suit, you can sometimes bet because it's hard for somebody to call unless they have at least top pair with a good kicker or a high club, right? In that case, everybody missed, and he shows the red Ace King. And
He did
takes it
show
down.
Jeff, who actually showed him the 8s.
And Jeff would have caught an 8 on the turn. He wouldn't have been a set of 8s. And seat 4 takes it down.
Try that against him.
Yeah, look how that's happening.
That's what he told me earlier. Don't try that against him. 3 overcards.
Three suited overcards.
Ace King suited here for seat 5.
None of which I
Must
have.
not forget the adjective suited.
But they were suited.
You think that Shirley was an attractive lady?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think Shirley's very attractive.
There you go.
If I were a guy, I'd be all over her.
What if you were a girl?
Oh, are you trying to evoke fantasies here for our listeners?
Not a straight up. Not
No, if I was a girl, I'm not into her that way. Just to make it just to clear everything
Just
up.
friends, quote unquote. Friends.
I hope you're not listening, Shirley.
We had a
I love
raise here
you.
by seat 5. And we got 2 callers. It's about a $45 pot. King, Queen, 6. And Tony here has got top pair, and he's in kicker trouble again. And he leads right into top pair. Let's see what Jack is going to do. That's not Jack, that's Michael now. And he is short because he just came to the game, so he doesn't have many chips. And it looked like he just... Did he just call there?
Is C5 still named Jack?
No, his name's Michael now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I believe he just called with the Ace King.
Okay.
And Gabrielle's going to call with a gut shot here with a backdoor heart draw. Turn is a spade. Now Michael's hands gets even stronger. Nut flush draw with top pair. Pot's now about $120.
That's 60.
Tony's
This
going to bet
point, I'm thinking
60.
he needs to go all in here. Don't let anyone. There we go.
And seat 5 is going to move all in.
Gabriel's quickly out.
Looks like 130 total, so it's another 70. I really think that Tony should have shut down there on the turn. I just, when you get called in 2 spots, I don't know.
75
You know, sometimes it's tough, but again, that's the trouble with those hands. And he makes the call, and he's drawing really slim here again.
Wow,
the river
look at
is a
that.
spade,
He
and
didn't need it, but he got the spade.
Michael makes the nut flush there at the end.
Yes, that's a hard. We are seeing witness of what we were talking about earlier. The hard player playing those kings and smaller kickers.
Yeah, exactly.
He maybe thought that everyone was on some kind of draw, which is why they just called. But that's what Michael's intention was, is to get him into the pot. And he kept betting for Michael, which is what he wanted.
Well, you know, again, it's the concept of when you play top pair, if everybody misses, all right, you're going to win a small pot, but you had to take that to a raise. You called King 9 for a raise. If you hit your top pair, all right, you win a small pot with King I. But now, if the other guy's got a king, you lose, and you doubled that guy up, and he lost a good amount of his chip stack
What
with
do you
that
do when
hand.
you lose? You like
So
jump
there
for
you go.
joy? When you win, you act like you lost.
Button moves over there to seat 2.
So that's taking our seat 4, Tony, from 700 down to what? He has about 300 now?
Yeah.
He's proven our point that we were talking about earlier. How did he know?
Now, are you and Jennifer Bankson good friends too?
She works here.
Yes.
So yeah, we're friends.
Working relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember Yana?
Yes, I remember Yana. We were friends when she was here as well.
10-9-3 here
Girl
on the
power,
flop.
come on.
Limped around. It's going to get checked around here. And seat 5 is going to come out and bet $10 here. He's got King 9 now. Steven's going to call with 9-7. He's in kicker trouble. And Jeff here's got Queen 9. He has the second best hand. I don't know if you can call. Well, he's going to make the call. It was only a $10 bet. And seat 4 here, we don't even... He's got... Looks like 10-4. And he's going to check raise with top pair. Seat 4 with the 10-4 offsuit. I don't think we have it up there. So he makes the check raise.
I think he's steaming a little bit, which is why he might have played this hand, but he
actually
is
has
in
the best
lead,
hand.
yes. Or it looks like maybe he was a big blind, excuse me.
Yeah, he's in the big blind. But again, I mean, top pair weak kicker always gets me into trouble, Nicole.
And I don't know why
And
Jeff's
Jeff's gonna
calling
make the call.
here.
Well,
I
maybe
think
he
maybe
figures-
because he figures he's
Yeah.
on tilt.
Turn is in
And
club.
now this is going to suck Jeff in even more.
Jeff checks. And Tony's going to move all in. The rest of his chips.
Good for him.
Looks like 200.
Good for him.
So Jeff has a pair, and he has the second nut club draw. And the pot, I want to say, is about 200. So it's a $400 pot, 200 to call. He's getting about 2 to 1 on his money. But he's going to get rid of it. Tony does not show, and Tony's going to take it down. There you go.
Good for him. That was a very good play by Tony.
Shades. I don't know if I've ever seen you wear sunglasses.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have quite
Really?
a few times when I played live at the bike just because of the lights.
Oh, the lights.
Yes.
Lights,
Someone asking
camera
about them?
action. No, I was asking.
Oh.
You'd like to show off your eyes, huh? Is that the thing?
No, when I have shades on, you actually can see my eyes, Bart.
Button moves over here to C3. We're live at the bike. We stream live poker cash games every Monday through Friday, now from 7 to 10 Pacific time. Start the game a little bit later so our game can be a little more solid in the first hour.
Yeah.
And of course, the game replays 24/7 on a loop all the way up until the next day. Dan's going to raise here up to 15. He's got pocket threes under the gun, little pot sweetener. And Tony's going to call here with King 8 offsuit. And C5's in there with pocket 5. So here we go, about a $40 pot. Three-way action. Dan's the pre-flop raiser.
I'm feeling the Oh, there it is.
Yeah, Michael's got a
Pocket
set.
fives are my favorite.
And he's
And
going
seat 5 is my favorite. Weird.
and Michael's going to bet right into the set. Oh, wait a minute. No, he didn't. Michael checked,
You bully.
and Dan's going to bet.
Thug.
So Michael's slow playing the set here. The
Only
$40 bet, and what is Tony doing? How can he make this call over here in seat 4?
He's not going to call. I think he's going to raise, which is actually the right move. He does have Dan.
With
No, he
overcards?
doesn't. I'm
No.
sorry. Excuse me. I was thinking Tony
No.
had the pocket 3.
He's made a move here.
Excuse
He's
me.
raised it up to 100. Or, excuse me, raised it up to 80. Dan bet 40. And now it's over to Michael with the real hand, set of 5s. And this board is really coordinated. I don't know if I would necessarily slow play here. What's he going to do?
Looks like he's calling.
Well, one thing for this is that you might think that Dan might be just betting as a continuation bet, and he's going to fold here. But the guy, Tony, who's check raised, has shown some strength. So if you call in between, Tony might have to fire out at you on the turn, right? So hopefully, I assume that Michael's hoping that Dan's going to fold here. The pot's about $220, and he does. And now Tony's really going to have to fire it. Look at it. He bets blind. He's got absolutely nothing. He's going to bet blind here.
It's Michael's birthday.
The turn's a 4. And if you're Michael, do you let the guy keep bluffing you if you think
No.
he's bluffing?
No, because he could have any number of draws here. At this point, Michael has to go all in, or at least I would. He could have hearts, he could have queen king, he could have 8-9, he could have 2 pair, he could have anything that I don't want him to catch.
What do you have? You thinking about calling?
But he has more balls than me, so maybe he'll just call.
Well,
There we go. He proved me right. Thank
Yeah.
you, Michael.
he's going to move all in. And this pot, we're talking about a $550 pot, $250 to call. Tony has absolutely nothing.
He
He's
can't.
drawing
Yeah.
dead.
What can he do here? He can't call. I feel for Tony. I know he's
He folds.
going down a tough road right now, but that was very unfortunate. I was actually going to say on the flop, I was actually going to say the only bad thing for Michael is that
No
no
one
one
really
has
has
anything.
anything. Right.
But he ended up getting so much action anyways.
Yeah.
I can smile at the camera.
Bud moves over here to seat 4. So you're a green chip prop, right?
I am 6-12, 8-16.
Are there a lot of Asian women that play down there in your limit hold'em games?
I don't think there's a lot of women in general that play down there. There's a lot of Asian men.
Sorry, that just doesn't do it for me.
Every once in a while we get a woman at our table. Usually they're quite older though. Do you like older Asian women?
Yeah, why not? They seem to age pretty well, don't they?
You want action?
Not talking to you anymore.
Ace Jack suited here is going to raise out of seat 1, $40.
You won the
35 more here for Steven if he wants to make the call, and he's not going to call. And David is going to take it down. And there you go.
Come out of your spider hole.
Takes it down.
Yeah.
Is that a sign of the apocalypse? Is that one of the signs of the apocalypse?
And, Nicole, how long have you been working here for, too? Almost as long as me, right?
June, July, well, 7 months now.
June?
Almost
June?
8 months, yeah.
Okay.
It's all right. Like you said, small win better than a big loss.
Button
Feels
moves
like
over to seat
yesterday.
5.
Down $7 at a time, man.
A couple of big hands here. We got ace king for seat 6, pocket 10s for seat 2, pocket 8s for seat 1, and pocket jacks for seat 6.
Wow.
Pocket 3s and pocket deuces. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pocket pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pocket pairs
And
this
an ace
hand.
king.
And an ace king.
This is going to be interesting.
5 pocket pairs and an ace king. Seat 1 comes in and raises with pocket 8s. Seat 2 calls with pocket 10s. Seat 4 calls with ace king.
No one is re-raising with these hands, which is very interesting.
This is unbelievable.
Where-
Actually, seat 4 calls with pocket deuces. Dan calls with ace king, but it's going to go over back to Michael, and he's going to raise with jacks.
Good for him.
He's going to make it 100 to go. He doesn't
Got to
want to see
figure with
multi-way action
yes,
here.
everybody's just called here. No one's re-raised in front of him. He's got to figure he's the best, and he is.
5 pocket pairs here. This is unbelievable. So it's 80 more here. $80 more. And the pot is, well, it's about a $180 pot, 80 to call. And David, look at David. He doesn't have enough money.
No.
He needs him to either push or fold here at this point, right?
I think that's what he's thinking of.
I just sometimes think that there's better spots. gonna stick it in there with a pocket pair, right? A mid
yeah,
pocket pair.
the only thing that's going to suck these guys in is, like you said, the pot is so huge. And now if David calls or pushes all in here, it's going to make it even better odds for everybody else, even pocket deuces, which Tony probably will go all in because he only has about $100 left.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if David puts the rest of his chips in, I mean, there's no implied odds with your pocket pair if you're Tony. I don't think he can make that call. He would
If
need
I'm
to get
Tony?
something like 5 or 6 to 1 on his money, right?
I guess, I'm not all about, I don't know all the odds, and I'm not as good at the math and statistics as you guys. I just know if I only have $100 left and I have a pot that's, what's it going to be if David pushes all in?
Like
$400? I'm definitely
4 or
going
5.
for it.
Really?
I got a pair, and
Yeah.
if I know I'm a huge underdog, of course, you got deuces. But, I mean, when are you ever going to get better odds than that?
Well, I mean, just to bring it down, so if this ever happens in a listener's situation, maybe we can comment about that. I would think that I would probably want to get something like 8 to 10 to 1 for me to do that.
Really?
Yeah. If I had a pot that was 900 or 1,000, I could put it in there with a pocket pair. But I just don't, because, I mean, pocket pairs are trying to hit your set for implied odds. You're all in.
Right.
And remember, if you're up against over pairs, you're at least. I mean, if you punch these cards into an equation, not necessarily, that seat 2 would know that he's up against all these pairs.
Right.
He'd be a huge underdog, like something like he'd probably be 5% to win this hand.
Really?
Yeah. Again, you're not going to always be up against 4 other higher pocket pairs. But
Right.
now Jerry's got an interesting situation here. He's going to put it in here with 10s.
Exactly.
This is a little bit better. And he just actually calls. He's just going to call. And Tony forget about the math. Tony just pushes it in. He calls. He's all in. And now it's over to Dan. Dan's got more chips, and so does Michael.
Now, at this point, with all this money in here, Dan maybe is thinking there's aces gone. He may be a big underdog. But with so much money here, why not give one call and see what happens?
Well, yeah, there's a couple ways to look at it. If Dan knew all these other cards, it would be an easy call with ace king.
Yes.
The problem is that you're only going to hit the
know.
flop 1 out of 3 times. He doesn't know
Right.
what aces and what kings are out.
The only good thing about it is 2 people are all in almost. Jerry's almost all in. And he sees to his left that Stop it. And he sees to his left that Michael only has 200 left. So really, all he's going to lose here, if he wants to go for it, is a total of $300.
Well, he's going to fold, and I actually don't mind the fold there by Dan.
No, I agree. I think in his position I would too. But
Yeah.
if I were a gambling woman, I would have made that call.
So it's going to come back over to Michael here. And somebody's all in for a little bit less. It's seat 4. It's 32 more. So Michael makes the call here. And I assume Jerry's going to make the call. And Jerry's got about $15 left. So we're talking about a pot here that's about $450 here. And Michael's in a huge, huge driver's seat here in seat 7.
Yes, Tony or Jerry has to get lucky.
Now, Jerry's going to put the rest of his money in. Michael should bet the rest of it in all on the side. And he's going to do that. He's going to bet the rest of the money on the side. And Jerry's going to call. So Jerry's going to need to spike a 10. Michael needs to dodge a deuce or a 10 here for the main pot. Turns a 5.
Ooh.
Now Tony's got straight draw possibilities. And the is an ace. And Tony's going to take down the main pot with a wheel. He's going to take it down with the wheel.
And look at how much he's going to take down.
$450
For a $100 investment.
Very close.
Not so bad. Not. Oh,
Again, though, you're right.
Michael's sick. He's so
I
sick.
think that's a great point to put out. Well, he only won. The pot's $450, but he only won $350.
Yeah.
So he invested $100 to win $350 with pocket deuces.
Right.
If I'm going to invest my money with pocket deuces, I want to win $1,000 for a $100 bet.
Really?
I want to win $900. Yeah, I mean those are that's the type of odds you want to hit with a low pocket pair. But I mean, obviously, like you said, Tony seems to be kind of like having fun. He's gambling it out.
Yeah,
so,
and Tony took a few beats with his top pair small kicker.
Right.
So I think he was ready. He didn't care what he had. I think any pair there, he was going in. He didn't care.
After ace kings.
And Dan wouldn't have won.
Exactly.
So there you go. And the other thing that Dan would have had to have remembered, too, is that the guy who showed a lot of strength, he's been playing very tight over there in seat 7, Michael. Michael had 200 left. And Michael's not going to give him a free ride on the side when the flop comes rags. So, limped around here.
If the ace falls on the flop, I get away from
Go
it.
ahead, Basil.
Call, please.
That's
Okay, let me have it.
8, 6, 10 here. And Michael's going to come out and bet here. He's open-ended. He bets 15.
if she had 6-7, she would have the nut straight.
And Steven's going to call here. He's got looks like a gut shot here to the 9. But look at that straight draw that Steven has. He's got the good end of it. If a 9 were to come, he'd have a higher straight than someone with just a 7, right?
Absolutely. Michael right now is sitting there with what do they call it when you have the smaller straight?
The ass end of it
Yeah, but
turns a
the
king.
nice-
And Michael's going to bet again. He's going to bet again here. But look at Jeff feeling lucky. He called with king queen over there.
And he got it, and he bets it out.
And he's going to raise. He was just calling with overcards there. And I think that Michael's going to probably get away from the hand. Nice attempt there by Michael.
Then I beat him up though for making
And Jeff is going to take it down over there. Button moves over here to seat 7.
Small black.
Small blind, small blind, seat 8, big blind, seat 9. Seems like with these smaller games, too, there aren't as many walkers. As you get up in levels, Nicole, it's just, seems
People
like you're
walk
always
around half
playing
the game.
6 or 5-handed.
I hate that. I hate when I come to the casino and half the table
Yeah.
is away. They play one hand and they get up for a half hour.
Right, right.
If you don't want to play, then don't play. If you want to play, sit your butt down.
Dan's got ace-king. He's going to raise it up to 20 here in seat 6. He's had a pretty good night for himself.
Big threes.
Looks like we're going to get at least one caller. Seat 1 calls with queen jack. Jeff's going to call with jack 10.
Call, please.
And seat 5's in with a little bit of a trouble hand here. King 9 suited. He's dominated. Here we go. Jack 8-4. Well, look at Jeff and David. Both have top pair, but David's got the better kicker. Now, David's going to bet. I'm going to throw something out at you, Nicole.
Uh-huh.
I think with 2 people left, you got your pre-flop raiser, who's played pretty tight. I think I would just fold the jack 10 right now. Why would I want to get involved? You got a guy that's coming out and betting into 3 people into the pre-flop raiser. How can jack 10 be good right now? But Jeff does make the call.
I agree. At this point, I would throw jack 10 away.
Yeah. Again, partly because you got 2 people behind you. You got the pre-flop raiser who plays pretty tight behind you as well. Well, Dan's going to get rid of it, and Jeff is in kicker trouble.
And maybe what Jeff is thinking is he can hit some kind of straight.
Well, it turns a
But
club.
The turn does nothing for him. So maybe
Funny,
that's what
though,
he's waiting for.
could Jeff use this card as a scare card, though?
No,
But he doesn't. He goes check, check.
Well,
And the river's a 6.
I'll check again.
Well, it just ended up.
Guys got me out.
They were kind of scared of each other there.
I feel for David. He hasn't had much cards tonight, and the ones he hasn't worked out. So when he started, he had I don't know, maybe 500 when he started, and he's gone down not because of bad play, but just because of the cards haven't worked out. He's gone down to $100.
You know, the way that Jeff played that hand, I really think if he bet the turn, seat 1 would seriously have considered folding
Oh,
it.
yes,
because,
I agree.
Because,
Because he's a good player. And
well, he also, he smooth called with 2 people left. I don't think at that point you can just put him on a kind of a weak jack, but okay. There you go.
The only way I win that pot is
Button moves over here to seat
I
8.
think Jeff is even saying that right now. The only way I win that pot is if I bet on the turn. Now David's saying, even though I might have paid you off, they're having the same conversation we just did.
the seat of non-party.
15.
Seat 4 here has raised it to 15.
black hole over there.
He's got queen jack. And look at Dan with some aggressive play. He's got jack 9 of hearts. He's going to re-raise. He's going to make it $30 to go. And Dan is unfortunately dominated, though. But let's see if he can use his pre-flop aggression and position to take this one down.
Oh, and he hits top pair. That'll make it easy.
Oh, he's got an open-ended straight draw.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was a 9.
10-8-3, and he did not bet. And the turn's a queen, and now he's made a straight.
There it is.
And Tony has top pair. And it gets checked. Tony checked it again, and Dan's going to bet now. He's going to bet 80. The flop was 10, 8-3. The turn was a queen, so Dan has a straight now. And look at this. Tony's going to make the call, and Dan's in great shape here. Tony is drawing to a chop pot. The river's a third spade.
That's going to be a scare card.
Well,
Wow.
and look at this. Tony's going to come out and bet. He's going to bet 100.
It's not enough to get him off.
And Dan is going to make the call, and Dan's got a straight, and he's going to take it down. Again, the board reads 10-8-3, queen deuce. And Dan is going to take it down there with the straight. And that's another call. It's about, I want to say, maybe $300 to $400.
Yeah. He
So
definitely did not want to see
Tony
his
kind of
face.
put a little, there's that board. Tony kind of put a little blocker bet out there, kind of on the river. I mean, you can't really get raised, and maybe he bet the amount that he wanted to call. And Dan called. Took it down. Button moves over here to seat 9.
Seriously, man, I heard the elbow thing is killing me.
Are you from LA? Southern California?
No, I'm from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Vikings fan?
Oh, of course.
Really?
If I watch sports.
Were you
Only
on the
Vikings.
Were you on the Love Boat up there this year, beginning of the year?
No.
Do you know what I'm referring to?
No.
No?
No idea.
You don't know what I'm referring to. Isaac, the Love Boat, Minnesota earlier this season. No?
He doesn't know either. What are you talking about?
I'll get to it after this hand. Three-way action here. 8-10-6 rainbow. Dan's got top pair. And he checked it from up front. And Jeff is going to, Jeff checked it from up front. Dan's going to bet with the top pair. He's going to bet 75.
One of those would have been sufficient. No need to waste time putting 3 of them out there.
I think I have the best hand right now.
No, you're wrong, Jeff. And Dan is going to take it down. Several Minnesota Vikings players were indicted and arrested.
Oh, unlike Minnetonka.
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
We're having a little bit of a party on a boat.
Too much of a party, huh? I know, yeah. No, I was not on that boat.
No. Dan's having a nice night for himself. We'll get a chip down in a couple minutes out here.
He is. He had an early run in. Bad cars, but now he's doing very well. Hi, Dad's family.
Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. Ace Jack over there for seat 9.
Yeah, that is kind of
Disconcerting. I don't know what to do.
Limp here. A lot of limping in this game. And we're getting a good shot of Dan's chip stack right there.
We don't know how much it is, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
How do I not?
Limped around.
40% committed.
6-way action. 8, deuce, 9, couple clubs. Looks like we got a 9-7 over there for seat 4. He's got top pair.
25.
But Dan is going to bet 25 here out of seat 6. He's got an open-ended straight draw. So Tony checked the top pair from up front. Let's see if he's going to make a check raise. No, he's just going to call. And seat 5 has 6-7 as well. 6-7 of spades. So 3-way action. 6-7, 6-7 against 9-7. The turn is a 4.
Apparently you're the only person I can beat, even then I can only outkick you.
3-way action here. Jeff is not in the hand. It's going to get checked around. Dan takes the free card. And the river is a 6, and Tony's hand is good right now.
Tony's playing a little quiet right now.
A little bit conservative. He's not going to bet here either.
Never attack people in
Looks like Michael might bet though. He's looking at what the pot size is. It's about $100.
This game is brought to you by Alpha.
I think he checked though as well. And Dan's probably just going to check it down, and Tony's going to take it down there with pair of 9s.
Your turn, Dan. Over, he wins.
He did river me.
He's scared to show.
Is Tony scared to show the best hand?
I think so.
This is ridiculous. They're not showing their cards.
There you go. That's the guy saying no good.
Nice hand.
Would have had some action if the
Well,
case.
there you go.
We are the stray, huh?
Thank you.
So did you move here to be an actress?
I did, of
Yeah.
course.
From actress from Minnesota, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to school up there?
Yeah, they're not quite as impressive as the schools they have here, but there's some.
Yeah. Button moves over here to seat number 3. Look at this. We had an email here from EG giving us the odds of that hand, and Pocket Deuces was actually a 12% shot to win that. So again, I think you're looking probably at trying to make 10 to 1 on your money. That's if you knew all the other cards. Again, he put in $100 and he only won $350. We had a little raise here by Michael with King Jack of clubs, and Jeff's called with the Queen 8. Ace 8 9. Michael's missed. He's got a straight draw. No, he doesn't have a straight draw.
I'll check.
Michael's going to check, and actually it was Jeff that brought this one in for a raise on the button.
50.
And Jeff is going to bet 50. Michael folds. Jeff takes it down. Were you amazed by how bad some of the play is down there at the green chip level?
Amazed? No.
No.
Yeah, but stuff happens all the time down there.
Stuff happens all the time?
It's like today I had aces at a set, over runner, flush.
Oh.
Yeah, lots, $200 in one hand, which is a lot down there in a 612. So yeah, things like that happen, but mostly, actually it's not as bad as everyone says. There's many a day where you can sit at a table and you get a lot of players who know what they're doing.
Even at the 612 and like 816 level, huh?
Yeah, especially at the 816 sometimes. You really get
Yeah.
players who know what they're doing, who play a lot of 2040, but play the 816 when they're not feeling it. The 2040, that is.
Four-way action here. Jack 7-5, couple diamonds. Jeff's got a diamond draw in seat 3. And he's going to take a card here. Turns a deuce. Still no one has a pair. And look at that. Jeff actually had a pair and a diamond draw, and he didn't bet. I didn't see the 5. And now Steven's going to come out and bet. He's going to bet 20. Jeff's hand is still pretty big. He did not bet the flop in position. He's just going to call. It's interesting. If Steven fires again on the river, will Jeff call the river? I don't know if Steven can fire 2 bullets here. But if the diamond doesn't come on the river, it might be interesting to see this, how this hand turns out here. River is a 7. Now Steven's just going to give up, and Jeff's just going to check right behind him. But the 5 is good. Oftentimes you'll see players at these levels really only be able to fire one bullet or so, right?
I didn't think the 5 was going to win it. I thought I had to hit my card.
We really haven't heard much from Gabrielle. She's been playing really tight over there in seat 9.
Much has happened in your absence.
There she is.
You did 2 jackpots.
2 jackpots back to
There's
back.
our token woman.
Back to back.
Token woman, huh?
There's always one at the table, right?
You played a hand yet?
I did. Wow. I beat him.
Except if you get in some of these limit wars that I get in during the day with some of the other props, where most of the table is women. And they're all yapping and talking Chinese to each other, and some of them
English
talk.
only at the table.
Right, tell them that.
Oh, he knows. That was the flush he threw away. That was the hand
I've
he
learned a
saw.
couple of Chinese words. Xing Jinping, Zuto, which is crazy pig head. That's what they call me sometimes at the table. Limped around her. And we're going to see 5-way action. Go to the flop buttons over there in seat 5. King, 6, queen with a couple of clubs. Doesn't look like any really hit much.
No, somebody has a 6. That's about it.
Bottom pair, huh?
Good flop for someone.
And everybody checks it. Turns a 10.
Now Jeff has the best hand.
Looks like Michael is over there with ace 10. Seat
oh,
number
excuse
7.
me. Michael has the best hand.
Jerry's got a club draw. And Jerry's going to come out and bet with the jack of clubs here. He's open-ended as well. Open-ended straight draw, flush draw.
I get the food off my face.
Can't even look at it. You're so
Jeff is going to fold the 10. Michael, I'm sure, is going to fold the straight draw here. And I'd imagine, I don't even know if SP Surfing Michael over there in seat 7 is going to call this with an ace, a red ace 10. Well, we'll see. $40 bet. He does have the best hand. He also has a straight draw to the jack. He's asking, do you have a flush already?
It's hard to call, too, with third pair and a flush out there.
Yeah.
Took a shot. I think Jerry showed the jack of clubs, and that was it.
Now, folks, again, if you're at liveatthebike.com, check out the link to the LA Poker Scene, or you can go to the lapokerscene.com to enter our $500,000 free roll.
Really?
Really?
I didn't even know about that.
$500,000 free roll. As we're going to take a look at another chip count here. Well, Dan over there in seat 6 has got 850. He's leading the table. Everyone pretty much started with 200. So, you know, the game. Now Dan's in for one rebuy. The game started about maybe a half an hour before the show. So Dan's up about $450 for the night. Jeff's up almost 500. Michael in seat 5's up about 300. And you can see the rest of the chip counts here.
That was like your power. Oh, yes, it has been so powerful.
Four-way action here, limped around. 8 deuce 10. And look at this, two people have two pair. Seat number 7 with 10 deuce, and seat 5 with 8 deuce of diamonds. Oh, man. Seat 5, Michael's playing 8 deuce of diamonds in late position. Michael comes out and bets 15. And Michael D comes out and bets 15, and Michael in seat 5 just calls, thinking he's probably slow playing. The turn's a jack.
Now we have another one with two pairs. Jack deuce.
Well, Dan's out of the hand.
Oh, he is.
And look at this. SP Surf and Michael's going to move all in here. And he's in great shape. It's about $70 move here. Turn was a jack. And Michael in seat 5's got bottom two pair. Michael D's got 10s and deuces.
3 seats in a row, all at a deuce. And
Michael
Dan
needs to
would've
catch an
made it.
8 here on the river to win.
Nope.
And seat 7's going to take it down there. About maybe a $180 pot right there. Two pair. There you go.
On my way there, I didn't realize it started at 3:30.
So a $500,000 free roll.
Okay.
Okay.
That's true.
Each player receives a free gold entry of 1 gold bar into the free roll. New signups get 3 gold bars and another 5 gold bars for making a first deposit using the bonus code 5X500K. Again, that's 5X500K. There are 3 daily Stage 1 free roll tournaments. Maximum number is 500 players at 5:30, 3:30, and 9:30 Eastern. And the winner of one of those tournaments, and I think it's 1 gold bar to get into one of those tournaments,
Okay.
gets an entry into Stage 2. And Stage 2 is the final tournament that's held July 1st for a $200,000 first prize.
But where am I going to play this tournament?
LAPokerscene.com.
Yeah, or
Our play for cash site.
satellites for the.
Get a little missteal here, so check it out.
Caught on the river by a flood.
Do you play online poker?
You know, I learned online, but I don't much anymore.
Really?
I want to really bad, but you know, I'm busy during the day. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
I have a few days that I can do it without.
The button moves over here to seat 7.
I caught up. Yeah.
Seat 8's got an ace queen. Oh, and by the way, Steven over there in seat 8, he's the magician. He was the guy that did some magic tricks for us a couple of weeks ago. Made the some of those card tricks.
15.
Seat 4 is going to raise it up here to 15. He's got ace king. Seat 5 is going to call with a king queen. Another trouble hand here. Ace queen's going to call. And look at C3. I like his hand the best in this equation here, Nicole. 10-9 of diamonds versus ace king versus king queen versus ace king, and 6-7 offsuits in the hand. Here we go to the flop. 3-5-7, and looks like Gabrielle has outflopped everybody.
What a bunch of crap on that flop.
Couple clubs. And Gabrielle looks like she's going to come out and bet with top pair out of the big blind.
Good for her.
75.
Top pair in a straight draw. She's going to bet 75.
They should probably take it down. I can't imagine anyone calling that amount.
And I guess from what we saw earlier, if somebody were to raise her here, she would get rid of it, right?
Absolutely.
Wow, and Tony's going to call with ace king. Wow.
I rescind my previous statement.
I believe you.
And the pot now is about $220 as we go to the turn. But Tony, look at most of his cards are out. The turn's a deuce, but now Tony picks up the nut flush draw. And it's a third club. And look at this. Gabrielle checks, and Tony moves all in on the deuce of clubs. And Gabrielle says, you called 75 on a flush draw? Gabrielle has the best hand, but Tony has overcards. He has and a club draw. His straight draw to the 4 is no good because Gabrielle has a 6.
I hope she calls this.
Well, he's
But it's
moved all in for
very
about
rough
200.
call.
No, she's going to
Yeah.
fold. There you go.
It's hard to do. It's hard to make that call.
No, I think he would have kicked him about 6-4 on that.
What was it? The river was a 6.
That's like the only
River was a 6, so
She made
Gabrielle
two
would have
pairs.
made a higher straight.
The other one
And she
was
made 2 pairs. They needed a 4 for a straight.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, she made 2 pair, and he missed everything.
He missed
Yeah.
everything. 6
Yeah.
of spades it was.
He had redraws. Even if he had an offsuit 4, he had a lot of redraws.
Button moves over there to seat 8.
wouldn't mind going out with
3 cards just to tie. 9 to win.
Small blind again, $3. Big blind's $5.
I had ace king.
3 and 5 blinds.
So clubs.
And she told her, and he told her that he had ace king, the ace of clubs, and he's telling the truth. But you can't really take a lot of heat with 6-7 out of position. Again, it's kind of an example of that.
No, I didn't
Another
have
half hour, say use me, baby.
I had something else. I didn't have
Looks like it's going to be linked around here.
That, that last card fits the club.
4-way action. We need to see seat 4's cards.
They have a whole lot of levels. They have
A lot of garbage out here.
$1,000 satellite early.
Ace, deuce, 3, a couple spades. Doesn't look like anybody really hit anything. C4's got a 8-10 offsuit, and everybody checks.
Kinda like you win a seat somewhere. You win chips.
Turns a 5, and now Gabrielle's made a wheel here out of the blind. And she's going to come out and bet. I had this exact type of thing happen to me, Nicole, in the 3 to 5 game this afternoon, and I had 4-6 in the small blind,
Okay.
and there were 8 people in the hand. It got checked around. I bet the turn, and there were huge stacks in there, and I knew that if anyone had a 4, they weren't the type of players that were going to be able to get away from it. But nobody had a 4. But that's the type of board you dream of with 4-6,
Yeah.
right there.
You gotta put on your friendly face.
Gabrielle takes it down. Button moves over here to seat 9.
I'm so innocent. There's no way I could have a Or it could be like seat 5.
Button moves over here.
Oh, that's right. I
King Queen suited for seat 7.
Pretty pissed off about that. I kept pretty quiet. That's
It's like a late call in basketball.
I hate the slow roll.
not to mention you got that.
$20 raise here by Michael.
He didn't need enough. Yeah, he didn't even need enough.
And they have you beat. You know, it's like, just show me, man.
Where did he put you on?
And Jeff is called here, and Jeff is dominated. Here we go. Michael's got position on Jeff. 7-7-10 on the flop.
He's already got me beat on
Now, the one thing about Michael's game is that he tends to play a little bit passively post-flop, but he is going to lead here. He's going to bet 40,
You folded once earlier.
and he does have the best hand.
He talks himself bad
Yeah,
out.
well, he talked himself.
And Jeff's
Well, I
going to
caught
throw
on
it
to
away.
What do you have?
He's going to take it down here. Look at this post here by Chester. We all know Chester, 2+2. It says, Dear Bart,
Yeah, I'm all in.
is Tuckman okay? I hope so. I think he's a great commentator. I think he's so good that I almost wish he could come back soon to take what is now Nicole's rightful spot in the booth, where she must stay. Well, again, Dave Tuckman is just had taken a couple of personal days. He'll be back tomorrow.
Really? You don't want to just
I don't know what you possibly have, but I don't care what you possibly have.
Button moves over here to seat number 1. Ace King offsuit here for seat 3.
200 behind.
And Steven the Magician's playing 200 behind.
Raise 10.
He's going to raise it up to 10. He's got King 8 suited. Button's going to call here. 6-4 of hearts. So it was a $10 raise. And C3 is going to re-raise. Ace King offsuit
40 more.
by Jeff. That makes it 40 more. Again, Steven's got 200 behind.
5 more.
So it's 35 more here to call. And Steven calls with the King 8 of clubs. Maybe a little bit impatient.
So bad.
I think so, and I think
Horrible.
same with David right now.
Well, David's got a little gap-suited connector. I don't think he has enough money to make this call, even though he's in position. I mean, he only has 200. He's making a $35 call with a gap-suited connector.
He has a feeling, maybe.
King, Jack, Deuce, and Jeff is at Ace King. And what's the story
No.
been tonight here about kicker problems and dominated hands?
Let's see what Steven's going to do.
Steven's in trouble with King 8.
An amount to be determined. How much?
And Jeff is going to throw a bet out here. It's
I
a
think-
$120 pot.
100.
Right.
He's going to bet 100.
100.
I think what you hopefully want when you're playing something like suited King 8 is you're hoping for a flush.
So you should get away from the hand then right
Exactly.
now.
Hopefully he can, yes.
Remember, Jeff raised pre-flop out of the blind. And he's bet 100.
A flush or 2 pair.
But look at this, Steven's going to move all in, and that's what we talk about. And, you know, especially at this level when you have players that, you know, might make this kind of mistake, if I'm Ace King, I make this call because I see players so often make this move if they have a King Queen or a King 10. You can't lay Ace King down right now. I don't know what David's thinking about here. I think he's just Hollywooding it up.
David misses the camera, perhaps.
Right. I mean, Jeff is going to call, and it really, really has been a story for any new viewers out there in this restricted buying game about how you've got to stay away from these dominated hands. It's just it's such big trouble. Oh, the
there it
turn's an
is.
8. Steven spikes 2 pair.
Sick for Jeff.
Wow. River's a 7. What a horrible beat.
You hate that. You really hate that.
Unbelievable.
130 more.
I mean, you can't beat aces if you're Steven. Can't beat aces. You can't beat ace king. You can't beat kings. The only thing you really could beat there, I guess, would be queens. One hell of a bet for Jeff to come out and make a $100 bet with queens there in that spot. But again, if you make the raise, you know he's going to fold. He's just, you know,
You played ace jack earlier tonight. Thank you.
dominated
Played
hands,
ace jack
you know.
on a raise. Because that's when I had ace queen. and I-
Let's see if Jeff starts talking now a little bit. C3. Maybe the show is rigged. It looks like we're getting a new dealer change here. Button moves over here to C2. When do you work, by the way, too? What's your schedule?
I work Monday through Thursday, 4 to midnight.
4 to midnight.
Yep.
So you get caught up in traffic? Do you live around here?
Nope. I live in Belmont Shore in Long Beach, so there's
Oh.
really no traffic the way I come.
No, off the 710 North, there's no traffic?
710 coming north? No, not at all. It takes
Really?
me probably 30
Isaac
minutes at
used
the
to
most.
would always tell me a different thing, different
Really?
story about that. But you take the 710 North,
Yes.
right? Limped around here. Pocket 8s, Jack 10 suited, King Jack offsuit, Queen 10 of diamonds, pocket 3s. 6-way action here. Here we go. King 7 ace. Look at Jeff. He's flopped a big draw, diamond draw, gut shot straight draw.
David has top pair. Top pair for,
Second pair.
yeah,
Yeah.
for the cards everybody has.
And Steven and David's going to bet $20 here. Let's see how Jeff is going to play it. Could he possibly check raise up front here with a big draw? Gut shot, straight draw, diamond draw. $20 bet here. By a late position better, you might not give him credit for anything. And Jeff looks like he is going to check raise. He's going to make it 20 more, it looks like. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe he's just calling here. It looked like he just called. Okay. Looked like he had put out some more chips out there. Wow, and Steven overcalls with pocket 8s, Nicole.
Maybe he thinks an 8 is coming.
Lucky 8, huh? Jeez, turns a king.
But what 8 does he want? He doesn't want an 8 of diamonds. So
And
he
David,
wants one out.
David had King Jack, and now he's made trips. And Michael called with a Jack 10 of spades. So Steven overcalled 2 players with pocket 8s. And now David's going to move all in here at the
Good
end.
for him.
He's going to
That's what
move
he
all
needs
in.
to do.
A lot of draws out there, obviously. Diamonds. He feels his hand is probably the best right now, and it is. And Jeff folds the big draw.
215.
Now, a funny thing about Steven here is that, was he really trying to spike his 8, or did he think his hand was good? Would that king on the turn change anything if he thought pocket 8s were good right now? David's been playing pretty tight the whole time. 220 here. No, he's going to get away from it. He needed to make those cards disappear on the flop. Look at that. Case king comes on the river.
Really?
Would have made quads.
Quads.
Yeah.
I had 3 10 of diamonds.
Quad kings.
If only he'd known that, he would have bet a little less.
Yeah.
I was pretty much on that.
I think he had a king, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's small blind.
He had the push.
Again, you can email us live at
I could have had a king.
thebite.com. Questions, comments, suggestions.
Only if you, yeah.
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 Yeah. Or if you flop 2 pair with that king.
Button is here in seat 3.
There's a whole lot of things that hurt me real bad.
No, do it, C3.
Limped around here. Again, it's $5 to call.
Just for you.
$10.
I haven't even looked at my
$10
cards.
raise here. What's the purpose of that raise, Nicole?
Oh, right back at you.
Pot builder?
Pot builder?
Mm-hmm.
Up to 30,
Not really
30
any
bucks.
purpose, except for you felt like
I
it.
didn't even know it was my turn to act.
And I think we had a re-raise here, I
Once
believe.
again, you called the situation precisely.
I have assessed it correctly.
You have assessed the
It
situation.
will not be
How much more?
It only cost you a mere $20.
We got 20 bucks more here.
I'm on tilt with that.
$20 more. We're going to see a couple callers.
Tilt, did you realize it?
So here we go. Deuce 3 of diamonds, 6-7 offsuit, and King 4 of diamonds in the hand. Flop comes out Jack 8-8. And look at this seat 4 who raised it out of the small blind. Is going to come out and bet there. And it looks like everybody missed, so he might take it down here.
Bad chase. Bad
Haven't looked
chase.
yet? I just did.
And he actually is the best
Jack
hand.
ain't good.
Yeah.
Jack better.
I need runner.
And it looks like he's going to take it down. I got a couple of emails here. One by Jeff Klein, who often posts on 2 Surf and a line app. It says, Bart, I have a poker theory, brief question about poker theory that I want you to touch upon. It's the 2 theories of pricing in or pricing out draws in low limit or no limit like this game. The pot is something like 3 ways, and you're sitting on ace-king of spades with a flop of ace-4-7 with 2 diamonds. Do you advocate betting big to price out the flush draws, or bet small to price in the flush draws since they're only going to hit 1 out of 3 times? What do you feel is more a plus EV strategy? It's such a debatable topic. I constantly weigh the pros and cons, but just can't debate about it anymore. We'll get to that after this hand. What do you have your kind of feelings about that?
I don't know what is right, but when I have ace king and I flop an ace, especially when there's a flush draw out there that is not my flush draw, I always bet big.
I was going to make a play for it.
We got a raise here by seat 2 to $20. With ace king. I'm going to throw out a kind of a little bit of a complex answer there after a second here. Daniel's going to call here in seat 6. Dan.
20 total.
Again, this is a raise here by seat 2 with ace king.
That's That's what's
And we got four-way action here. Cherry's the pre-flop raiser.
And they are cheering for him.
7, 6, 6.
However, he
And
got nothing.
the Magician's flop trip sixes. Really coordinated board. Let's see if he's going to bet.
Stevens in with an 8-6 offsuit.
Yep.
I think Stevens just quite
And he's going to bet.
bored.
He's going to bet $20 here with trip sixes. David's got overcards and a gut shot to the 8. Now, if his 8 would come, Steven would fill up, and his straight would be no good.
I hate drawing to gut shots. They're always losing propositions.
Especially on a paired board, right?
Yes.
Dan is going to fold. Jerry folded. Looks like Steven's going to take it down. Well, how about this? You know, pricing in or pricing out people's draws, I think you have to take into account in a no-limit game your stack size relative to the other person's stack size. And if a scary card that might complete a draw comes, are you good enough to get away from it? Or, in essence, are you giving yourself what we talk about as reversed implied odds? Dan still hasn't folded this hand, but I imagine he is going to. It's almost like if you don't want to play it like you don't want to price out the draws, you can afford to do that when you have a smaller stack than when you do when you have a bigger stack. Because, again, when you have a bigger stack, there's that much more money that somebody else can win from you, especially if they have a bigger stack on their draws. And if you want to play a tricky, like we oftentimes see Avo, who plays in our bigger game, play a tricky, when he checks behind the turn in position with a lot of his big hands, like he did last night when he made a set of queens, he's got to be good enough to get away from a scary river card, or he's going to lose himself a lot of money. So there's two schools of thoughts.
You'll be in.
I would seem to be more likely to bet off somebody off their draw if they're deep and I'm deep. I hope that gives you a little bit of limped around here.
This hand is brought to you by Altoids. Curiously strong winner.
And I believe it was a little mini raise or it was a straddle. I think it was a mini raise here at $10 by seed 8. So here we go to the flop. Ace, deuce, 9. And look at Gabrielle. She played ace-9 offsuit in early position, and she's flopped top 2 pair. And she's going to bet.
Now, what is it, ace-jack that's in there as well?
Yeah, now the funny thing is
Jerry might be
that
in trouble.
Gabrielle would have been in trouble if she hadn't hit 2 pair, but once again, Gabrielle, who's played real tight solid, she's going to come out and bet. What do you want to do here with ace-jack?
I want to re-raise and find out where I'm at. Unfortunately, Jerry doesn't have too many more chips left.
Yeah, he's going to raise, and he's in trouble because he's going to commit himself to this hand, and unless Gabrielle gets unlucky, she's going to double, or she's going to pretty much get Jerry.
Yeah?
Top 2 pair.
Once again, story of these hands. Turn is a king. Gabrielle needs to dodge a card. Oh, the river's a king. Gabrielle gets counterfeited. Jerry's going to take it down there with aces and kings with a jack kicker. Running kings.
Very counterfeited.
Counterfeit, sorry about that.
There you go.
Not really, though.
Yeah, really. I mean, come on, dude.
Unbelievable.
You're in bad shape.
I put it on a flush.
Wow, we've seen so many kicker problems here tonight. It's amazing.
I haven't played with you enough to know that. That's for sure.
No, she's probably played as tight as anybody has on the table.
Right.
She comes out and she leads into the board. Boy. I mean, it's a tough one. Like you said, you know, you don't have enough chips if you're Jerry really to make a decision. Once you're raised and she comes over the top, you have to pretty much call.
Right.
So it's a question of do you want to get involved with it in the first place?
Right.
Another email here by rdhickman at i1.com. Says, Bart, can you expand on your comment about odds of winning and bet size on the pocket deuces pocket pair hand? Well, anything in print. Well, not that I know of. I'm just taking, you know, my math considerations to the next level. The guy put in $100 with pocket deuces against basically 3 people that were, in essence, all in. Do I want to put in $100 to win $350 with pocket deuces? Unless you really think that the other 2 or 3 people all have ace, king, king, queen, are all sharing the same cards. I mean, again, we read off the odds with that hand when we knew what the cards were. It had a 12% chance of winning at Showdown. He put in $100 to win $350 with a 12% chance. Even though he won, that's a losing proposition long term, right?
Only the 3 of us.
We're going to raise here by seat number 8.
5-1.
And I wonder if Gabrielle's going to reload here a little bit. That was a pretty bad beat.
Yeah, that stinks when that happens. But there's nothing you can do. She played her game.
Yep. Michael over there in seat 5's got top pair, queen, jack.
$20.
He's going to bet 20 bucks. And he's going to take it down.
What did he say?
Email here from a Michael saying, "Hey Bart, where's Action Grace? Haven't seen her in a while." Well, Action Grace, you know Action Grace, right?
You know, I don't play up there with you guys, but
Yeah.
I know who she is.
She's
yes.
actually here. I wonder, maybe in a couple of minutes, if Isaac gets a chance, I think she's on the 20 hold'em table. She comes here commonly. She doesn't actually prop here anymore, but she used to, be on the show during the 30 game. Boy, is she loose aggressive. Man. Again, though, I think one of the big leaks with her game is you can be loose aggressive, but there she is. She's playing 30 hold'em there, the 10 round chips. Wave at us, Grace.
She's trying to decide if we're looking at her.
Yeah, that'd be something. We could see our roving camera, right? Limped around here.
Are you steaming because of me?
And look at that. Gabrielle came out and raised in her big blind. I couldn't quite pick out what she had that hand, Nicole.
I didn't actually see it. I was looking at Grace.
Yeah. So none of us saw what she had, but she made a move, and everybody folded. So, she's right around that time where... She's right around that time, Shirley, where she's either going to rebuy or just kind of gamble it up, right, and try to accumulate chips.
Yeah, and you just called me Shirley again.
Oh, damn it. Sorry. Nicole.
15.
$15 raise. Seat 5's going to call. And it's over here to Jeff. He's going to make a loose call here with a Queen 8, Jack 8 offsuit. Tony brought this one in for a raise to 15 with Queen Jack. Look at this, Nicole. What have we been talking about all night?
Yeah.
Take a look at the board here. Jack 5-4. Jeff's got top pair, but he's in kicker trouble. And these guys are pretty deep. He's going to bet. And he's going to get raised.
This time, at least Tony is on top.
But look at this. He moves all in with Jack 8.
And he calls
Queen
quickly.
Jack calls. And Jeff has pretty much donked off all his chips. The turn is a 3. And the river's a 3. And the 8 and the Queen is going to play here.
And Jeff even said, I'm on tilt.
The king 8, and I've not been right ever since.
Wow. Well, he said he was on tilt from the King 8 hand.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was the very beginning
Yep.
of the day.
Yep. What a
That happens.
what a kicker there.
No, I don't know that he does.
I can count it
And
down.
when I say donked off, I don't mean it in any term of derogatory comment.
But that
I
was
just
the
meant
original bet.
it's usually a term that's made, when somebody makes a move that is very questionable. In that case, it was, right?
Yeah, and I think I can see where Jeff is coming from. He has, every time he's played against Tony, he hasn't played as well. I said numerous times tonight I really like Jeff's play.
Yep.
But when he played against Tony, he played much weaker, and I think it was, like he said, just because of that very first hand when Tony showed him the bluff.
You can buy another 3 as well. Get off tilt here.
Big blind, sir. Jerry.
And seat 3 is going to buy in here for 200 more.
There you go.
And my seminar, a couple of times.
A couple of people have said that they're having a little bit of problems with C3 because they kind of he tends to be a table coach, which bothers some people. I don't necessarily think you should do that, but if it makes a guy feel like he needs to do it, I don't think it doesn't piss me off like it's pissing some people off.
Yeah, it doesn't piss me off, but I don't think you should do it because why are you educating people? If you want to take their money, don't teach them how to play.
Watch it, 10, 10, 10. There's my 10.
Well, Queen Jack here for C3. He's got top pair. He checks. Oh, he's going to bet. Top pair.
You out here? Just cleaning up, house cleaning.
And Steven called, I think, with pocket 4s. Wow, the turn's a 9.
Michael, who stayed in, yes.
Steven called Jeff's bet here on the flop, and Jeff's going to bet again. Queen Jack against pocket 4s, and now Steven folds. What was Steven trying to do there? Spike a 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing solid earlier, but then I just lost it.
Well, I don't know. That was a little bit difficult. Maybe Jeff didn't bet the flop there. I thought he put chips out, but
Like you did.
huh? Maybe he just checked it. Oh, yeah, maybe he checked and then he was checking like how many
Checked
chips it
with
was
his
when he was
chips.
getting new chips coming to the table. So he might not have
You
bet.
asked for a Cabernet and Coke?
Yeah, exactly.
A Cab and Coke? Maybe that's what you heard.
Button moves over here to seat 1.
Instead of-
I was up in San Francisco this last weekend at the Star Show hot rod thing. It's like the largest hot rod show they have.
Fold little limp here by Steven with King 9.
Cindy Williams. Is that all the people from the American Graffiti Show?
And we're going to see multi-way pot here. 6 ways, $30 pot.
Summer,
Gabrielle limped in there with 5-8 of spades in late
Ron
position.
Howard.
Queen, Jack, Deuce.
Check.
Check.
Checky Green.
David with King Jack is actually in the lead.
Yep, seat 1.
What are you doing?
Oh, family pod, everybody's having
Yeah, the other
fun.
thing about this hand, and this is why sometimes I don't really necessarily love this game as David bets here. Gabrielle, 8-5 suited. I'll limp in with that hand in late position. The problem here for Gabrielle is she only has about 80 bucks in front of her. And a lot of times, even if you've got 200, you don't really have super implied odds. You're just not deep enough, right?
Right.
Turns a 7. Well, King 9 there. Steven called with a gut shot. And he's going to check fold here. Steven's one of these types of guys that likes to take one off, isn't he, on the flop? And David takes it down. So again, we're into this stage here for Gabrielle in seat 9. If you go below $100 in this game, you can rebuy at 300.
Okay.
She's probably at about 110. So
There she
she
is, 90.
yeah, so she can. Well, I guess she could rebuy now, or she could just gamble it up a little bit. Maybe push in with a mid-pocket pair, ace king or something like that. Well, it
I
looks
kinda
like
to do that.
looks like Tony has the lead here with 850. Dan's got 800. Steven's got 600 over there in seat 8.
$30. 6 yellow chips.
And Gabrielle's pulling up the rear here. $30 raise here by Michael with ace king.
Only 6 yellow?
Only 6 yellow.
Do you say you do like to do that, or you don't like
I
to do it?
sometimes like to do that
Yeah.
when I don't mostly like to be short stacked, but if
Right.
I am, I'll play a couple rounds, see if I can get a good hand, just push it and see if I can make anything happen. Otherwise, I'll rebuy usually once I get down to less than 100.
Like pushing, for example, say somebody raised to 15, there are 2 or 3 callers, you got ace king, enough dead money in there for you just to push.
Absolutely.
Right.
Not the guy that was in Greece.
Not Christopher Lloyd.
Button moves over there to seat 3.
Not as good, like Tony Dan's the guy in the other one. The other one, taller.
Conaway.
What's his name?
Conaway.
That's it.
Seems like we've got a lot more chips on the table now.
He was one of the,
Yeah, he was connected.
yeah, he was connected.
Well, not in Greece.
No,
though.
we're talking about American Graffiti. I think he was the nice greaser also.
Oh, yeah, he was one of the Greece.
Yeah, I
too.
think he was there
Yeah.
too. I said that greasy look.
King queen suited over here for seat number 2. He's in the cutoff spot, so he's probably going to raise here. Gabrielle is going to limp here with ace 9 offsuit. So 2's going to raise to 15, king queen suited.
Okay, we're heads up
You
here.
got some action down there.
And Gabrielle calls. She has the best hand here with ace high, but she's out of position. Flop comes out. Deuce 7-5. What she might have going for her is that Jerry, I believe, has played it pretty passively. And look at that, he checks the flop, but he hits a
Oh.
queen on the turn.
Yeah.
Very slowly, however.
My apologies.
You know, at that point, if I were Gabrielle pre-flop, I might have just pushed it all in with my ace.
Chip road to this end of the
Yeah,
table.
she limped, and then she got a little raised by Jerry. As opposed to just calling and trying to hit a flop,
Right.
you might have just pushed there.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you lose, you lose, but at least you made an effort to get your money in with the best hand.
Button moves over here to seat number 6.
Top the blinds. I don't think this is hard.
Or seat number 4. Sometimes I confuse myself.
No, you and I did one.
Clockwise manner, right? Seat 1 going around to seat 9.
Thank you.
Ace King over here for Dan. He's been relatively quiet the last hour or so in seat 6. I think he's in one of the blinds. Well, he's actually, yeah, he's in the big blind. And he's going to raise it up.
Raising.
We've seen a lot of ace kings tonight, not very many aces.
Anything Dave desire.
He's going to raise here out of the big blind. Seat 9 linked in with ace 9 off suit.
And this is when I throw ace 9 away.
Yeah.
25.
Especially heads up. What kind of money are you going to make?
Well, it looks like he hasn't called yet. He's in position, but again, winning a small pot or losing a big one, right? If Dan had something like pocket jacks and an ace came, he'd probably win a small pot. But if an ace flops and Dan has an ace, he's going to lose a big pot.
Right.
Lose-lose situation. Yeah, Dan's going to wave at the camera.
Dan's family.
Yeah, Dan. I actually play a lot of stud, high-low, 8 or better with Dan.
Actually, I was hoping to rip myself up.
A lot.
There you go.
You have it on tape.
That's usually the game that he
Sign
plays.
something saying, like, we're not liable for anything that happens to you while you're alive and play.
Including
Button is in seat 5 here.
That would be after the sign.
Seat 1 is going to raise it up here to 15.
$15.
Ace 10 offsuit.
I tell her, listen, tell someone to put their cards, not bring their cards.
See 4 cards. It's got to be a tough gig.
And we got a few callers here.
I love that.
4-way action. It's a $60 pot. 9-10-4. And David's got top pair here. He's going to bet, but look at Tony's. Tony's flop 2 pair. Now, that's the type of flop you want to see with 9-10 as opposed to something like 10-deuce-3
Exactly.
with 4 or 5 people in there.
And Michael has a flush draw, so this could get interesting.
So let's see if Tony's going to pop it up here or if he's just going to
I
call.
actually can't wait to watch that here at the concert.
Looks like he just called.
Interesting. I don't know.
Well, this is, again, one of these cases where we just read that email. Tony chooses to call. He's got a big hand. Now, if a diamond comes, from what I've seen tonight, I don't think he's going to get away from it. I don't think he can get away from 2 pair if a diamond comes here. Wow, the turn's a jack, and Michael has now made a pair. Now, SP Surfer Michael mucked King Queen. He had a gut shot. He does not have a straight. David's going to check. And Tony's going to move all in here. He's going to move all in, and he has Michael covered. And we're talking about a pot now that if he bets 300 here, it's in essence a $500 pot, $300 for Michael to call.
And this is a good-looking flop for Michael. Top pair.
Michael
flush draw.
basically has a little under than 2-to-1 odds with 1 card to come, and he's going to get rid of it. Well, if you put the guy on 2 pair already, you've got 9 outs to a diamond. Now, David hasn't folded yet. If you put him on 2 pair, you would have 9 outs to a diamond. You might have 2 more outs to catch or 3 more outs, 2 more outs to catch a jack. And then maybe if you think you could catch a 6, 3 more non-diamond 6s. 14 outs, you're not really getting the odds.
Let's make sure they rabbit cam this one.
Need about 3-to-1. And David is drawing really slim. You would need to catch an ace here, and an ace only.
Like 2 to 9, they run saddles, but that may be like $1,000 saddles, and then maybe they run the other ones to 11.
Now the funny thing here is, and we say it a lot too, David and I talk about it a lot. Tony, thinking that he was playing clever, called the flop, and he got the flush draw in behind him. If he had raised the flop the way that he's been playing, which is somewhat overly aggressive, David might have committed all of his chips on the flop, might have moved all in with the ace-10. But instead, by smooth calling the flop, somewhat of an action killer has come to the turn, and it's just as simple as the fact that it's a 3rd straight card, and it's an over card to David's ace-10. And now he's going to fold, which is exactly why the way that we usually preach to fast play in these games, because fast playing is actually going to get you more money. The jack killed his action on the turn.
What was the turn? What was the... They didn't rabbit cam.
No, we didn't see the rabbit cam.
Wait a second. Freeway ahead.
6 of hearts, I heard.
Ah,
So actually, Michael would have gotten his 2nd pair.
Well.
Jack 6.
there you go.
It's not what he would have been looking for, but he would have made a huge pot.
Button moves over to Dan in seat 6.
And then I would have walked away from the table.
We have a little under an hour left in the show. Pocket Jack's over there for Jeff in seat 3. He's going to get limp to him, and he looks like he's going to put a raise in here.
35.
Everyone goes bye-bye.
So he raises it up to 30 here.
Someone else that I played, but
I respect your 35. You can match that and raise it, right? Oh, yeah.
I get one of those.
I did not. That's what I wanted out right there.
And he's going to take it down here without a flop.
Jack.
And he shows the Pocket Jacks. He takes it.
Captain Hook.
Now, sometimes with Jacks, and I know 10s and 9s more prevalent, I might just actually play it a little bit slow. Even on a, if it's a really, really passive table, where I don't even think I might get paid off with a big hand because the players are good enough, I'll probably raise in early position. But Jacks and 10s, you know, they're tough to play. You might just play it a little bit, you know, might limp in and just try to hit your set, right? Especially like if you're in the blinds and you've got a raise and a few callers, reevaluate where you're at. We got Pocket Queens here for Dan in seat 6. Two limpers. He's going to raise. Dan's been playing pretty well here. He's going to raise it up to 30.
Pocket 8s again. We've seen Pocket 8s a lot tonight. They are
Jeff is going to call.
Get him, killer.
We need some chips.
Jerry's
Jerry, excuse me. Again, this is some of the toughest decisions. If a raggy board comes here or just one overcard to Pocket 8s, what will Jerry do? Well, that's a little bit easier for Jerry to get away from.
Yeah.
Ace, King, 7.
Scary for Dan.
got one of them, but I'm going to check.
Well, Dan's going to check behind. I think you
Dan
need to
says-
bet there.
Dan says, I have one of them, but I'm going to check.
Turns a king. Now, against most
Liar.
competition, I would bet there. But against Jerry, who usually plays a little bit passively post-flop, if he doesn't bet, you know that you probably have the best hand here.
Right.
And it's just going to get checked down, and Pocket Queens are going to be good. I don't think Jerry's the type of player that's going to fire into the turn if you don't bet the flop.
I had one of your outs.
Am I 8?
Wouldn't have had any. Wouldn't have got any.
Now, what I was going to say was that
I wouldn't have got any action.
if the flop comes out 10 deuce 3, and you've got Pocket 8s, where the flop comes out 9 3 4. That's
Pocket
really,
eights
really
is
a
pretty good, yes.
well, it's a difficult decision to make. You know,
Nice. Change it up.
We got a live straddle here.
Live in the bike, live straddle. Watch out.
live straddle here by seat 2.
Seat 5 left a long time ago. It was the last straddle we had.
Pocket Jacks for seat 8 now on the button. Steven the Magician.
Here, I don't watch that bucket.
Touch my cards. Floor man, floor man, floor woman.
The hand's dead.
We are up to $45. Rika.
Seat 8 there, Steven's going to raise to 45 with Pocket Jacks. Jerry's got Pocket 6s. Steven has Pocket Jacks,
I don't know. I don't play it blind.
and Jerry's going to call.
But if you next time you look at the Orange County Register, look in the sports section.
Heads up.
And here we go, we're heads up. Again, we've got Pocket Jacks against 6s, Ace, Ace, 4 on the flop.
Don't get crazy now.
Of course,
And it goes
everyone
check,
yells
check.
out jackpot.
Goes check, check. The turn's at 10. Check, check again. Again, Steven has Pocket Jacks, and the river's a 4.
Pocket 8, pocket 4. Go ahead.
And this one just gets checked down here. Jacks is going to take it down. Again, some of these players are really, really gun shy when it comes to playing post-flop when overcards flop to their pairs. And there you go. Jerry takes it, or Steven takes it down. I mean, if I've got Jacks and the flop comes up Ace, Ace, 4, and a guy in the blind had called me, it gets checked here. Wouldn't you bet there usually?
I usually, if I raise pre-flop,
You're going to bet a flop when it gets checked you heads
usually,
up, right?
but especially when two aces come out, everyone yells out jackpot, and then you know
Such
you get
crap.
gun shy.
Pocket Kings for Dan now in seat 6.
Nice.
Oh, and Pocket Queens for seat 1.
Now we've got some action.
And seat 4's raised it up to 15 with Pocket 5s. And Dan's going to re-raise.
We are re-raising.
And sometimes, now these guys aren't that deep, so, you know, if seat 1 goes all in, fine with Pocket Queens.
Right.
But if you're really deep and somebody is raised and re-raised, sometimes you've got to get away from Queens pre-flop. A really tight player's re-raised. Look at Steven the Magician, got Jack 10 of clubs. He's going to call.
Oh,
Always.
And seat 1's going to move all in.
Yep,
And Dan is going to call, I'm sure.
of course.
Well, this will be really something. Tony's got Pocket 5s. Now he's going to get rid of it.
Are we looking at 209 here?
Well, you know, it's only $209. With kings, I think you have to call here, especially for this money. Again,
You know, if you're up against aces, so be it. How often does that happen?
right. It's 209.
209.
Remember, Dan re-raised pre-flop, and David's come over the top all in.
149.
Steven's
raise.
thinking, man, I wish I wouldn't have called that original bet.
Now, Dan has to deal with Steven behind him, remember, too.
Exactly.
He could re-raise here, or he could just call. And that's what I think what he's trying to think of here.
I'm going to call you.
He's going to call. Oh, my! Is Steven going to make the call now,
No
too?
way.
Well, how much? I think it's about 125 more.
The expectation of going
One. Good match that.
And I don't know. Maybe it's not open to a re-raise. It might not be open to a re-raise here. Well, no, Steve. It doesn't matter. Steven's going to fold, and Dan's going to make some more money unless he gets unlucky.
You got 8.
Kings against queens here. Pot's about maybe $400 to $500.
Oh, I thought you said I'm going to gamble.
I'll take the 60 bet. I'm not going to take the 200.
Here we go.
David's getting his money.
Here we go. To the flop. Ace, 8-3 here. A couple
I see
hearts.
that smile. Take your jacket off. You're saying.
Turn is a 6.
Nice
And the
hand.
river is a deuce.
Nice hand.
Dang it!
And kings are going to take it down, and that's another hand for Dan.
Wow.
It would have been mine.
I could have.
But
Nice answer.
And Steven's saying, it would have been mine with Jack 10 of clubs. It would have been mine. He's banging the table. Hopefully it won't break our cameras. But,
sorry.
I mean, come on. Steven's not going to see.
No, I had Jack.
I mean, is he possibly going to see the flop and the turn there on the side?
No.
Dan's not going to bet.
With
I mean,
one club, is he going to call the way down?
well, the funny thing, though, is that Dan has shown a propensity to not bet when an overcard comes to his pocket pair, so he might have check on the turn.
Right.
Maybe he would have made it. Who knows?
2 big blinds.
I would have cut in the flush draw, and it would all been
Good. You're small on the button.
And Dan is making a killing here
2
tonight.
big blinds.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, live at the bike. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, I didn't have an ace.
Yeah, he can't get away. No way.
When you moved to LA first, you didn't live in Long Beach originally, did you?
I did, actually.
Really? Wow.
And I moved to Pacific Palisades for 3 years, and then I moved back to Long Beach.
You were in Pacific Palisades, like in a house? Because they don't have apartments,
no,
do they?
God. Oh, yeah, they have a few.
Oh, yeah?
If I had a house there, I wouldn't be working here.
Right. Yeah.
Best drawing game in poker, man. And my gut told me to play it.
You're in the blind. In the big blind. Go.
Check. Go ahead.
Limped around here. We need to see seat 4's cards.
4 players.
A lot of garbage out here.
100. I'm sorry, 200, no limit.
Ace, ace, jack.
Okay?
Everybody missed everybody. And everybody's going to check.
Check in. I'm sorry.
Seat 4's in there with a king 5 offsuit. Turns a 10.
Go ahead.
And now Jeff in seat 3's made a straight. No, he hasn't. He's got a pair of 10s, excuse me.
Mickey Mouse wants this.
And he's going to bet 15 here with the best hand.
No, Jack, come for me.
Queens lost the king.
And there you go. Gonna take it down.
Okay, small blind on the button.
Look at this email here from Tina Lugay. She says, I'm sorry, so very sorry for not catching your name, but I really enjoy listening to you.
Not the wine.
And the subject is loving this lady. So I think she's actually referring to you.
Oh, thank you, Tina.
You seem to have a very common sense approach, an identifiable way of talking about the players. I hope to listen to more of you in the future.
Okay.
I was playing at the bike 2 days ago and saw you guys setting up the table, but didn't get a chance to come over and say hello.
Hello, Tina.
I didn't know which ones they were.
There you go.
Can he have mine?
I forgot.
I hope you don't hit.
Must be like extra special for a woman to compliment you. Aren't women like all catty and usually like kind of hate each
No,
other?
I think that the ones that are, it's a bummer because we have to stand up for each other, especially in this world, in the casino world where it's dominated by men.
8-5-3 here. It was limped around. Turn is a 5. Everybody checked. And Jeff's going to bet here with queen high.
I'm so sorry.
And you take a look at how much money. I mean, everybody started with 200, right?
Yep.
And now look how much money there is on the table. I mean, once these games go, look at Dan. Jeez.
That's the one.
Someone's going to give him a lesson in like how to manage chip stacks, like physical chip stack management. He's got so many chips in front of him.
Very good. You got $8 in.
New player coming into seat 1.
I think it just goes to show how much big pairs and big cards really pay off. Because if you look at Dan's play the whole night, it's really been
Pretty
big
straightforward,
pairs,
tight, solid, right?
even just pairs.
Yeah.
High ace, kings, and those are really if you can get those cards, that's a problem. And
Right.
if you can get those cards, those are really what pays off for you in this game.
Right. Buttons in seat 5 here.
Oh, boy, should I get a hand to play?
So we have a new player coming into seat 1. We'll get his name in a second.
Guy down there hasn't done anything.
I just want to make sure you got in.
Well, no, I was saying everybody's holding.
People are acting around you.
Limped around here.
Like, well, we're talking about our new player.
5-way action. Here we go.
Wait, I want to hear it. Say it loud, a little louder.
You'll probably hear it on the
King,
live.
king,
We were in
3.
the Disney moment.
Oh, look, it broke
I
that
think I
mountain.
probably
we
know
did
what
5
you were
minutes.
saying.
You're right.
Hey, dollar?
And once again, nobody hit the flop.
Okay. Give me the 22. 9-7.
920.
Turns a 4.
Can I be in on this?
How are you? Hey, champion. How you doing, champion?
Anybody wants this one, they can bet it. Jeff's
Yeah.
open-ended, but he doesn't bet. It does not look
That wasn't
like.
paid. I was saying hello.
I think the difference between lower limit games and higher limit is that the button in higher limit games almost always bets.
Right.
Almost always.
It looks like the queen highs are going to chop it up unless somebody bets here. Michael and Dan. Kings and 4s with a queen kicker. The river is a 4.
Side bet.
Jabetta said I broke
Red. I
back
was
mountain.
black. He was
Oh,
red.
yeah, I saw that. With the Asian guy.
ended up
Well,
with
not the
the
Persian guy.
Persian guy. Yeah.
Seat 3 is going to bet Jeff as a bluff.
And he's probably going to take it down. That's really what it takes.
He should have bet on the turn, the
Yes.
semi-bluff.
Black, he was red.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to take it down.
All right, I'll take black.
It's
And-
funny. It's hard when you're sitting at a table and there's 7 people in a hand to think that if you can just bet, you can take it down.
I
But
know. Well,
sometimes it is just that easy.
oftentimes, the flop misses everyone. Just like it did right there in that case.
921.
I got 922, I thought.
Well,
New player coming into seat
I have
1.
922 or
Paul.
under. It's you.
Right.
Paul
922
in
or
seat
over.
1. There he is.
So I don't know how.
What do you want, red or black?
I'll take black. No, red. I'll take
$5,
red.
right? Okay. I'll be black.
So do you think, is this your favorite game? Do you prefer No Limit Hold'em?
I do. I work because I prop the limit section. That's mostly where I play. But I prefer no limit. And if I was just a gambler, that's what I'd be playing. I.e., not a
Last
prop.
time they started,
Right.
I had the whole table flipping coins for $100 stacks.
$15.
Seat 7 here. Michael is going to raise. He's going to make it $15 to go. He's got ace 4 of hearts.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit on tilt.
We got $5 on
Jeff says, I'm still a little bit on tilt. I'm going to make the call with Jack 3 of spades.
Well, at least he's warning everybody.
Here we go to the flop.
All right.
King deuce 4. Michael's got a wheel draw. It looks like he's going to come out and
And I
bet.
know at the end you'll give me the tally, too.
He bets 15.
Middle pair.
He lost 30.
You're right. He doesn't have a wheel draw. He's got middle pair. And he's going to take it down.
Everyone's small, even small blind gets lucky.
And Michael said that he is kind of new to playing no limit. He tends to play in the 100, the 200, and 3 to 5.
I have seen him. I've played limit with him before,
Hey, thanks, man.
but I've never
Like
played no
816 or
limit.
612 or
Yes,
something.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh!
That's the jackpot hand.
That's hard. Whatever.
If you spill it, lead it.
That's my
I don't know if Greg's lead. Yeah, I think Greg's coming out of the box.
He is.
Yeah. Drop some chips on the floor. New dealer coming into play.
Okay, thank you.
Seat 1 is new.
And seat 1 is new. Yes, she is. He is, excuse me. New dealer.
Oh, I just think black. Now I got you covered here. About $4 already.
Of course, we are here live at the bike. We webcast live cash poker every Monday through
What's
Friday.
beautiful is you picked up right
From
where
7 to
I
10 Pacific time. And you can watch a rerun of the show that's looped on a 24-hour cycle all the way up until 5 p.m. the next day. Check out the archives. We have every single show we've ever done saved. Click on the on-demand banner or the archive banner. $14.95 a month gets you all of the saved action.
He charges for the lap dance.
That's wonderful.
Hey, make it 15.
Buttons in seat 7. Seat 4 is going to raise to 15. He's got ace queen.
I just can't. I'm waiting. Being patient.
Gabrielle sounds like she's getting a little frustrated over there.
Yeah, it's hard when you sit all night with no cards.
And I think Tony has shown Jerry the hand.
It's not even a raise. I meant to split up the ace.
And Jerry's going to fold.
I had one of your ace.
Well, I don't know if I would really show the fact that I'm raising an early position with ace-8 offsuit, but...
Raise it. See this? He raises because of that.
What was it? Oh, we never thought.
Hi, Minnie.
No,
I mean, what do you think about that? Not a great hand, right?
I said hi to Minnie.
Under the gun, I don't raise with that hand. If I'm close to the button and nobody's in,
Oh, no.
I'll give it a go.
I think she's illegitimate.
I got like 2
The
minutes.
button moves over here to seat 8.
Yeah, beat
Mickey
it.
and Minnie and Sin. Come on,
Is that
guys.
part of your Disney moment?
Hey, how about them Lakers? Did you guys watch
Talk is
the
getting
Lakers?
wild and crazy.
What was that rodent running across the floor, grabbing the cheese? What was that about?
King Jack suited here. Over there in seat 7. That's Michael's hand. He's probably going to raise it up a bit. He's going to make it 15 to go. That seems to be the standard raise.
I think it's, what's down there?
Gabrielle had ace, rag, weak.
What's down there?
She
Well,
folds.
Shaq is down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Jeff has got a king 9 offsuit. Jeff has king 10, but he's got king 9. So he is once again dominated.
Are you in cahoots with my man here?
So if we catch a king, he's in trouble. 6, deuce, deuce. Well, Michael's got overcards and a flush draw.
Looks good for Michael.
Bet 25.
And he's going to bet 25.
Come on, that didn't get any part of you. What are you doing?
And if it's 3 in a row, it's $10.
Oh, no, but California, no number. Let's make the
And Jeff is going to fold, and Michael is going to take it down.
I need the number.
I'm the only one giving you any action.
odd even.
When I raise, I expect you to. Hey, when I get a good hand, I raise.
Again, those of you that just joined the show, we want to encourage you to go to bluffmagazine.com/reader's choice, take the poll,
No, but what he said is what's
and vote for the best poker broadcast and the best poker commentary live at the bike. There's also a link on our website at liveatthebike.com spelled out to the left. You can click on that. It says vote for Dave and Bart. It'll take you right there. Although, like I said, it says mixed commentary underneath the, that's one of the options. But hey, can't have everything.
We'll get there, Bart.
I'll give you an extra dollar to make it.
Hey, we're live here. At the bike.
Buttons over there. Jack 10 suited in seat 9.
Hey,
Limp, limp, limp.
he
Up,
knows it,
Sensei.
guys. Up, Sean. Up, Sean. Hang on, I'm being distracted.
And everyone's going to limp around here. 5-way action.
I don't know. It's like, yeah.
Give me 5, buddy.
Oh, wow.
9-5-3 rainbow here. But Jeff really is tilting. He's got 9 deuce of diamonds. Picks up top pair.
Check key button.
And everybody checks. Turn is a 10. Well, Gabrielle is now open-ended.
Bet 20.
And Jerry's got top pair.
Dag nabbit.
Michael's got a flush draw with
Jerry-
a gut shot.
Yeah, Michael's got... And he could really raise here, maybe put the pressure on here. But he just calls. Steven's going to call with top pair, weaker kicker. And Gabrielle is open-ended. She's going to call. But she doesn't have many chips left. She needs to catch a straight that's not a club.
There it
and there
is.
it is. The river's a queen. She makes
did
it.
it.
But look at this. Michael's got a higher straight. He's got the nut straight. Gabrielle has the lower end. I'm sure Michael's going to bet here. He's going to check his cards one
again.
more time. I mean, those are the types of hands where if you were really deep, you could break somebody with Jack 8.
Absolutely.
Gabrielle, she
Luckily
probably thinks
for
she's
her,
golden.
Yeah, luckily for her, she doesn't have more chips.
Right. Oh, he hopes she doesn't leave the table.
Bet 65.
He's going to bet 65 here, and that's pretty much... If she only has maybe like 80, she's going to push the rest in, I'm sure. I think Steven's hand is pretty much garbage. 10-8 now. Action's over to Steven. He folds. And she's all in for less, 47.
Yeah.
She made the straight, but Michael made the higher straight.
What do you got?
King, Jack.
And that's hard to see that.
Nut
You
straight.
figure straight is going to be good.
Yep. I think she's calling for chips. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, she is.
Yes, yes.
I had the best hand after the flop.
It's been a long time.
And she's going into her purse to get her cash, much like we see the guys who carry man purses go into their man purses
you know, when you come to the
and get their
casino,
cash.
you have to, man. You got to bring your Walkman. You got to bring your money. You got to bring your book. You got to bring, you know, men need purses.
By the way,
You know, high-low?
well, I'll get to that in a couple minutes.
High-low today?
Call them Mickey. What's that?
No high-low? Doing good? Doing okay?
Buttons moves over here to seat 2. Speaking of man,
That would have been a questionable call. It would have been.
Judges say,
I would have given it to you on that one, yeah.
I think I'm a ruling.
raise here by seat 5.
So he does it again.
Ace King. King 10 and diamonds is going to call. And seat 4 here has got Ace Jack.
45 more.
It's going to make it 45 to go. And Michael had limped in here with the Ace King, I think. So was Michael, well actually Michael raised it up, I believe, to 15. And seat 4 is going to re-raise to 45 in the blind. We've got a ton of callers in between. I mean, this
All
is
the
the hands that you
aces.
might even be able to re-raise with. You've got a lot of dead money. You raised, this guy re-raised you.
Maybe that's what Michael was hoping for with such a small raise under the gun. He is under the gun, yes?
Yes, let's see what he's going to do.
What could I have?
Well, you don't have really that good of a hand out of position.
And 3 aces are
Yeah.
gone, so...
And look at that, a couple of kings are gone. What is... He folded Ace King. Wow. Holy cow. But Steven's going to call with King 10 of diamonds. Jeez. Boy, is that tight.
Interesting play.
And Jerry,
Do you want another round?
I mean, my question is, has Michael been paying attention to what Tony's been doing all night? And Ace 10 of clubs is going to call. So here we go. And look at that. One of the kings comes out, and Steven has hit the king.
Yeah, this would have been a big pot for Michael.
Yeah, and it gets checked around to Steven. He's going to bet.
At 45?
$45 bet here by Steven. Tony probably is just going to check fold here. I don't really know what seat 5 was thinking of. He had the ace king.
Some players, I think, are very scared of ace king, especially in
But look
early
at this.
position.
Hollywood.
Oh.
Look at this. You know, Tony's making a move. He's check raised.
45.
He's made it 45 more.
Only
and
twice the size of the
well,
bet. Interesting.
Steven's going to call in position. Once again, Steven could easily be dominated, or he could be up against no repair here. But he makes the call. We got a pretty big pot here brewing. Turn is a jack. Ace Jack over there for seat 4. Seat 4 and seat 8 are in the hand. And he's going to bet 100, and Steven's going to raise it up with the flush draw, straight draw, and top pair. Again, seat 4, the Ace Jack. So a $100 bet here by Tony. Steven raises to 200. Now, the only problem here with that, which some people might say with that raise on the turn, is that Kevin has such a big draw now. Do you want to be faced with a re-raise all in, or do you want to actually see the river for $100, which is what Tony bet? We can see Steven has the best hand. And look at this, Tony makes the call. And we've got about a $900 pot going in the river. Tony checks blind. The river's a 3.
Ooh, a scared card. But
And
not for Steven.
Steven moves all in with the rest of his chips, 145, and we've got the biggest pot of the night here. And I don't know if I don't think Tony's called yet, has he?
Not yet.
He folds. Wow. I guess Steven had a read that he thought that his king was the best because he wasn't scared. He bet the river. He raised the turn. He just didn't believe it. He didn't believe that Tony had a better hand than him. And there you go. Takes it down. Biggest hand of the night right there. Wow. Email here from Mauricio. How do prop players get paid? Do they use their own money? Well, a prop player is a person that gets a salary from the casino and is used to start and help games that are short continue on. So you have to play where the foremen tell you to play, but you use your own money.
Yes.
So usually you have to at least break even in the game, or you're going to
Well,
go
you
bust.
better, or
Yeah.
or what's... You're going to be in big trouble.
Dan's going to raise here. He's done this a couple times. He's got a little pocket pair of pocket deuces, little pot sweetener. He makes it 15 to go. Gabrielle's got pocket 10s. She rebought for 300, and she's going to re-raise.
Make it 60?
She's going to make it 60. And Dan's probably not going to get involved with this, I wouldn't think. $45 more. Gabrielle only has 300 in front of her. So she's pretty much priced him off of this hand. Oh, he's going to make the call, but again, we talk about implied odds. I don't think that she has enough money for Dan to make this call. Here we go to the flop. Oh, look at this. He flops bottom full, 8 deuce 8, and Gabrielle's got an overpair.
He's all in.
And Dan just moves immediately all in. Immediately. He doesn't even check to Gabrielle. He moves immediately all in.
If you're on a flush draw, I'll take half your actions for half
And,
the profit.
boy, if you're Gabrielle, do you get involved with his hand? Dan hasn't really shown any types of bluffs before. Funny thing is, if Dan had checked, Gabrielle would have made a hefty bet, and she would have been pot committed.
Absolutely.
So Dan actually fast played this.
I think maybe he was hoping, or he was thinking she was on ace-king, which might be the reason why he called in the first place. And he wasn't going to give her a free card.
But
a
free card to
would-
where, though? A
good
full house.
point.
He's got a full house. She's
Good
got a full
point.
house.
I don't know what he's thinking.
I mean, I'm never really an advocate of slow playing there, but I probably would have checked that flop so that she could put some money in there. Even if she had ace-king.
Yep.
You want some money in there with the deuces bottom full there.
How over is your pair?
Well, that's the other thing that Gabrielle's got to think about. Dan could have a higher overpair here easily.
That's what I would be worried
Yeah.
about. I wouldn't think pocket deuces at all, but I
Right.
would think maybe jacks,
Probably
queens,
gonna
king.
hit this later, but I'm going to lay them down.
Nice laydown.
I think she showed,
You were like,
and he shows the deuces. But again, you know,
oh, my $60. I know.
Wave
Well,
Dan.
hey, Dan's a nice guy, but we're here to commentate on poker.
There he is. Hi,
Hello.
Dan's family.
Hello to Dan's family. But I think that Dan's played well all night, but I have to get after him a little bit on that hand. I think that he shouldn't have called pre-flop.
Okay.
And when he called and he hit his hand, I think he misplayed it post-flop. And I am the last person to ever say I hate slow playing, except in certain situations when you do need to extract money in restricted buying games and get people to commit their chips. If he had checked there, pot's 120, Gabrielle either would have moved in or would have bet at least 100. He could have either at that point then called or check raised, and there's no place for her to go, right, with the overpair. But anyways. Pocket aces over here for Steven the Magician.
There. I was saying we haven't seen those in so long.
Pocket 10.
And, I thought we had pocket jacks, but we don't.
Raise, make it 45.
$45 raise here with aces. And Gabrielle's got pocket eights. You know, again, very difficult to a $45 raise. Does she want to re-raise here? And she is going to re-raise. I was going to say it's a re-raise or fold hand, but she's committed so many chips now, she has to call when the guy comes over the top.
She does, yes.
Get into those situations where, oh, man. And now to a raise and a re-raise, Gabrielle's played as tight. King Jack should go out the door quickly.
No.
And she's going to have to call here. I just, she's committed over 60% of her stack now. That's Dan's hand. It's a no-brainer.
Put me all in.
And she knows it now.
She knows she's beat, but she can't do anything now.
Yep. She got into a
I'm here to
spot.
hopefully give you a mad fight. I need a very special flop dealer.
Here we
Here's
go.
the last flop. 8-8 deuce.
I don't
Oh, look at that. An 8 peels off. She's got a set. Turns a king. Oh, wow. She hit her
I'm
hand.
so sorry, but I was already in for so much. I had to.
That's a good hand.
Maybe Steven can do a magic trick for
how
her.
sweet. No, that's a good hand, he said.
I was putting you
Nice
on the
attitude.
screen.
I'll say it
Steven
again.
picked up
I
the-
like his attitude.
Steven picked up the disappearing aces.
Really bad. And that will do it.
You will not
Wow.
see me going like that unless I know I have enough.
Email here from Oscar Luna as Gabrielle doubles through there. Hi guys, when faced with the option of buying into a restricted no-limit hold'em game,
Well,
Facing a table with players who have 2 to 3 times the buy-in
I want you to call me.
As soon
versus
as I
a
saw
table
you, I
where
was
most of
like,
the players are close to the buy-in, which one do you prefer?
I had to do it.
Nicole?
I only
You
had
know-
100 left. I had 150 in the pot already.
That's from Oscar.
You know, I don't really have a preference,
The only person who put
but I do like to start a table. Like, we saw this table start basically when we started our camera here.
Yeah.
I do kind of like to start a table just because you get everyone's on the same level, everyone's at the same point. But at the same time, I also like to come into a table when everyone has a lot of money because there's a lot of money to be made. And usually people are a little more aggressive. As you notice, once they get more money, they'll play more hands, they'll give you more action when they have more money in front of them. So I guess I'm kind of both ways. I don't really have a definite answer.
5-way action, limped around, and look at this. Seat 9 there has flopped the full house. She's got king, queen,
She's on a rush.
and she checks it. King, queen, queen. Unfortunately for her, no one's really going to be able to pick up anything unless a 5 peels off. Well, Jeff's going to bet 20. Gabrielle's flopped a full house, king, queen, queen on the flop, and she's just going to call. Best card for her would be a 5 here.
I know.
Turns a jack. Let's see how Gabrielle's going to play it.
Wow.
One more
Is
check.
there enough paint
No.
on
She's going to come out and bet now. Maybe hope the guy has a queen.
40.
She bets 40. And he's going to fold. And she takes it down. Email here from Ryan Van Beekum. Hi, it's my first time watching. I think I'm hooked. And look at this. The river was a 5.
Wow.
Oh, check one more time, and he checks behind you.
Exactly.
Anyways, email here, Ryan Van Beekum. Hi, it's my first time watching. I think I'm hooked. I'm a poker junkie, and this is a good fix. Keep it up. Thanks, Ryan.
They were like, what is he doing?
Jason Whitmore emails us. He says, laugh out loud. The guy that thought Jesus and his friend were working the table is playing. How can this guy show his face? There he is.
And then after it all came down, finally the magician loses some of his magic or some stupid thing like that.
Yeah.
Show your card.
Limp here. Limped around. 5-way action. Jack 4-7. Couple of diamonds. Oh, this is once again missed every single player. No pair here.
First one to bet wins.
Turns a 5. Gives a couple people straight draws. Gives Steven a pair and a straight draw. Michael in seat 7's open-ended.
Yes, me too.
And Michael's going to put a little bluff bet out there in seat 5. He's going to bet 20. Now again, SP Surf and Michael in seat 7. He's open-ended here. He's going to make the call. Steven actually has the best hand here. And he overcalls. Pair and a straight draw. And here we go to the river. River's a deuce. And Steven in seat 8 has the best hand.
Hey, excuse me. Excuse me.
Is Michael going to fire at it one more time?
Food and loan.
He hasn't really bluffed that much tonight. Can he fire another bullet? He's going to bet 50.
55.
55.
He's going to give it a shot, and he takes it down.
And the only thing, well, like maybe Steven was calling. Look, he shows the bluff.
He shows.
Shows the bluff. What kind of code is that? Is that like some sort of,
Wool,
is it wool?
sheepskin.
Sheepskin? Yeah, like a cross between leather and wool. Button moves over here to seat 7.
Small blind. Oh, I'm sorry.
Bud moves over here to seat 7. Ace Jack of clubs here by seat 2. Just going to limp in.
Dan
Dan's
would
gonna limp
like
in.
to say hello to Jody and Marilyn. Hello,
Oh.
Jody and Marilyn from Dan.
How nice of you. 6-way action. Limped around. Queen 7-4, a couple spades. Set of 4s here for Gabrielle. Look at this. She's got bottom set. She's on fire now.
20.
She's going to bet right into the set, and is Dan going to get in trouble here with Queen 10? Look at this. We don't want to jinx Dan. Every time we mention Dan's family, he's going to lose a pot. He did it before, too. He calls, and he's in big trouble here. Gabrielle's got a set of 4s.
If a spade comes, it might get Dan
What
out
is
of the
Steven
pot.
calling with? Jack 10?
He has a feeling.
Turns a 5. Pot's about 80 or 90 bucks. See what Gabrielle's going to do here.
Thank you.
She bets again.
That's 75.
Bet 75. Let's root for Dan and see if he can lay this one down. Gabrielle's been playing so tight all night long. Oh,
Oops.
as often happens, people get caught up with their top pairs. I just couldn't imagine that this is good against Gabrielle, and Dan is drawing dead, and the river's a 9. And Gabrielle should make a nice value bet, and she's going to move all in here on the river.
Wow.
Well, that was a little bit of an over bet. She's over bet the river. She's bet 400 here into a pot that's about $200. So it's a $600 pot, 400 to call. And
This
Dan
should
just
make
got-
it easier for Dan to get
it
away
should
from.
it should make it easier, yeah. Remember, Gabrielle laid down the 10s before and showed him Dan's gonna fold. She says pick one, which means
They're
that
both
she has
the
a
same.
set.
What you have? Gonna show everybody now.
You know, one of the other things, it's one of my pet peeves, and everybody has the right to do it, Nicole, and it is within the rules.
Yes.
But sometimes it just drives me crazy, especially at lower limit buying games. When somebody shows somebody else their cards, just flashes them, and then this guy like from over across the table, show one, show all, show one, show all everyone the cards. You showed one person, you gotta show them all. And this is like the douchebag that's got like $100 in the $100 no limit game. You know.
You have to open both clouds.
But I don't know if anybody did that in this case, but I'm just saying in general that's just one of my little pet peeves, you know?
I've seen somebody at a guy that I like is a big tournament player.
Yeah.
He was playing at a 6-12 one day, and he was heads up with a guy in a hand. And another player asked to see his hand at the showdown, and he said, "Yeah, I'm not showing you this hand." He said, "I want to see it." He said, "I'm going to take this hand with me." He got up and crumpled the cards up and walked out the door. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
Was it a called hand?
It was a called hand, and some other player wasn't even in the hand, which I agree with them. You know, I hate to show my hand when someone asks, especially if I'm trying to make a play and they call me, right? You don't want them to call you, and you feel like an ass when you have to show a hand. But it has to happen. So anyways, not even the guy that he was up against asked to see his hand. Just some other guy at the table said, "I want to see that hand." He said, "I'm not showing you this hand." He crumpled up the cards and put them in his pocket and walked out the door. I laughed.
So I'm betting with him, and I got a large stack, and all of a sudden,
Bud moves over here to seat 8.
and I see he's got 400 together. It's like, I'm not hiding.
We got about 10 minutes left in the show.
So there's on Velcro against the wall. It says you can't. I run over and I rip the sign off the
So
wall.
look at Gabrielle. I mean, she was down, and now she's quickly up to about... And once again, we've played it for about 3.5 hours now, and look at how the amount of chips that are on the table.
He's like, he's not hiding it. It's just underneath.
That's the beauty of no limit.
You're playing, a 400 buy-in game. You can't have white chips. It's cash them in.
You can. No,
You can't. That's what sucks about it. I wish they would just make you cash them in if you're under
Yeah,
that
playing
amount.
3 and 5 blinds. Yellow chips are $5 chips. Blue chips are $1 chips.
And he wasn't winning on one. He had over $2,000.
Dan's got King 10 off suit. He's going to raise it up to 30. Late position.
$100. And he had about 900.
I can
And it was $100. That's all.
I'm out, yeah.
And
Thank
what's this?
make it 30.
So it
Oh, I
comes
know
out.
the other thing I was going to ask you, Nicole. But I always ask Shirley, too. And she actually agrees with me. She doesn't take it as an insult. But I meant it somewhat as a jest. But why is it that most women, and it's usually 90 to 95% of women poker players, are so damn weak tight?
Weak tight.
Don't you think?
I'm not sitting back here.
Yeah.
So honestly, I
know
can't
my-
answer that. I don't see
My producer
how,
Evelyn's giving me a scornful look right
you know,
now. It's just true. I mean, we see it every time.
Do you? That's the thing. I don't have the
it's-
advantage of sitting back here, so I can't see the other people's
Well,
cars.
and I'm not
when
even
playing.
necessarily talking about on Live at the Bike. I'm just saying in general.
Mhm.
Usually the people that are the tightest players on the table are the women.
Mhm.
And, you know, they tend to be a little bit passive with it. Now, there are some exceptions.
Mhm.
Shirley is definitely does not play that way.
Mhm.
Raise here by seat 2. Actually, I think it was it by seat 3 or seat 2? We got ace queen and king queen here. Heads up.
Oh, and the king queen wins.
Yeah, king queen is outflopped
Very
ace queen.
sad.
Jerry checks.
You're just betting your little side bike. Not even
Yes.
I think it was Jeff that brought this one in pre-flop, so he's hit top pair here. King 9-7, 2 clubs,
It's 60.
and he's gonna bet 60. Jerry folds. You never noticed that? That the tightest players on the table are usually women?
You know, it's funny actually. I'm thinking about some of the no limit games or the limit games that I play, and a lot of the women are actually very aggressive.
Well,
some of them.
You don't see crazy people, crazy wild action guys like Andrew that we were talking about earlier on the show. Like see some woman come sit down and go all in, 10 times in a row in a 3 to 5 game.
No, not at all. But again, I can bring you back to the fact that there's really only like 5% women here. So there's just not a lot of range yet, I think, of women players.
It's the incredible rolling chip.
Limped around.
20. Raise 20.
And we got a raise here by Gabrielle. She's got 7-5 suited. She's going to make it 20 to go. She's in the cutoff.
A lot of spades already out.
Jeff is going to call with the old valuable Jack Rag suited from early position against the tightest player on the table. And here we go, 4 ways. Ace 7-6. It looks like Gabrielle's got the best hand. Let's see if she
Yes.
fires with it. She's got second pair.
She actually does.
You'd imagine she's going to bet here with the ace out. Looks like 60.
It's 60.
And that should take it down.
Yep. Not even close. There you go. She takes it down. Nice hand again for Gabrielle.
You guys are going to love that one.
So Gabrielle's hitting her rush now that we're leaving.
Yeah.
She said you guys are going to love that one, but what she doesn't know, she actually was ahead in the hand.
Well, she doesn't actually think that she was betting somebody off of an ace.
She might.
People
but
at
she
these
said, you're
tables.
going to love this one.
People at this table would call with an ace in a second.
Pocket deuces again.
Yep, we've seen that a lot. 2 jacks 10 suited, seat 4 and seat 2. Red jack 10 suited, jack 10 of diamonds and hearts.
Raise, make it
Stephen
10.
the Magician raises to 10 with ace 3 offsuit. Paul's going to call ace 4 offsuit. Jerry calls with jack 10 suited. Jeff's in there. And the small blind's going to put a little pot sweetener in there with the
30.
other jack 10 of hearts. He's going to make it 30.
Yeah, total 30.
And Michael's playing king 6 suited. He folds. I was going to say, how can he call king 6 suited after he just folded ace king under the gun to the raise? 4-way action here. It's a $120 pot. Seat number 4, the pre-flop raiser out of the small blind. King 8-5, couple diamonds. Jack 10 of diamonds has got a flush draw.
Check.
Tony's going to come out and bet. He bets 60. Jerry's going to
Okay.
move all in.
Solid.
Jerry's going for the gold.
Strong semi-bluff. He's going to take it down. He was on a free roll if the guy called. They both had the same hand, but he had diamonds. And he takes it down. And look at this email. And actually, I swear, when I asked you that question, we had not received this email.
Okay.
Tina Lugay says, I've noticed consistently,
Okay.
and in almost every place I play, I have to slow play my hands more than being aggressive or playing them in a typical manner. I don't like playing it that way. I think as a female player, though, I think we tend to be viewed as being more tight. I find myself trying to get very creative to extract more money because it seems like, if I bet, everyone will just fold.
Interesting. There's your answer.
How can I get more straightforward action on my play? What?
There's
Nicole?
one answer. No, I agree with her. I think, every time I bet at a table, mostly people are going to lay down and they're going to respect my bet. unless they have a huge draw.
15.
This is going to be the last hand of the night, and seat number 3 is going to raise it up to 15 on the button. He's got deuce 4 offsuit. Seat 5 calls with ace deuce, and we're heads up. Seat 5 has Jeff dominated. Seat 5 against seat 3. Here we go. 9-8-8. Missed everyone.
There's no way I'm up. You're on a 4-game winning streak there.
Oh, me?
Yes. Check.
I think it's unfortunately you're up 5. Hit the last
Checked here by Michael. See if Jeff's going to make a little continuation bet.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. It hasn't.
That's the $15 payout.
That's the fun one.
We got a bet here on the button, and Jeff's going to take it down, and he shows the bluff, and that's going to do it for us tonight. Nicole,
That was fun.
it was a pleasure.
Yes, very much so.
It was a pleasure. Looks like you're having a good time over there, huh? And I will be back tomorrow with David Tuckman to do our 10-20 No Limit Hold'em game. So for everyone here in the booth and for Nicole, I'm Bart Hanson. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.